Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stam Studio Network. It is me, Sean Stam. I'm joined by the one, the only Nick up in the booth tonight. Coming from Daytona International Speedway, got the road course for you tonight. Man, this is going to be such a fun race. 3 hours of absolute chaos, skill, and speed. Nick, how's it going, man?
It's going well. We had the real life Daytona 24 hours just a few weekends ago. Now we're back here in the sim world, racing the same track that they were. We have three different classes of cars tonight, and I can't wait to get into the nitty gritty racing, the door to door that we're gonna get. Lots of traffic, lots of just exciting racing that should be happening.
Man, that it will. See the race info up on your screen there. A little bit cool night tonight. Going to have to keep that in mind. Letting everything get up to temperature. Shoot, you name it. Tires, tire pressures, brakes, brake temperatures. The list just keeps going on and on. Again, appreciate you joining out here on Sim Racing Network and Stam Studio Network YouTube channel. Gosh, that's going to be a tongue twister tonight. Those sounding a little bit alike, but Nick, appreciate you joining me up in the booth. Again, 3 hours of racing tonight, so driver's going to have to switch it out. Going to get that about halfway through the race, as well as a competition caution halfway through the race.
Yeah, it's going to be up to these initial drivers to really set up not only themselves for success in their classes, but also their teammates that are going to be hopping in as well. And we can already see getting a feel for qualifying right now. 10-minute qualifying shot. Got to put your best lap down. Lots of traffic out there, and like you said, it's going to be your tires, your brakes, even your oil temperatures can drastically change how that engine is going to behave. So something to always keep an eye on. Now, whenever we are looking at something like this, your first initial laps, especially whenever it's cold, is going to be super, you're getting a feel for not only the track, you've had this practice time, you've had qualifying, but you're still going to be on these slightly cool tires that are not going to behave the way that they normally would once they get up to temperature. So it's really going to be on these drivers to be adaptable as they come into these turns, as they're on those stretches for those braking areas, to make sure that they are ready to go should anything happen.
Man, should something happen, I think it will be when something happens. Obviously, the start of the race is going to be a little bit frisky, especially with how cool the temperatures are. But, man, this is our first race with Sports Car Endurance League. I appreciate everybody for coming out, even the sponsors. We'll get through it thanking them throughout this very long broadcast. Matter of fact, going to be switching up the booth here tonight also. Nick, going to try to stay in for that first hour and a half, and then we'll have Justin Yaw come in about that hour and a half mark. So looks like, man, Braden out of lots of Canadian drivers here today. Love to see that here racing down in Daytona. Braden with the pole so far with a 153, and then Steve Kelly right there behind in that Mercedes GT4 put down a 153.2, so only a 10th off. Nick, I think we're going to see some really fantastic racing these times in the qualifying. Lots and lots of close times with one another, and I appreciate them putting this open qualifying.
Yeah, no, these are really good times. You can see they're not that distance from each other either. Typically when you see, multi-class racing, there can be large gaps between the classes in terms of the timing of the laps, and here there's not even a 20-second gap, 15 seconds at the most between Braden and Andrew down in those Toyota GR86s. So it's going to be very tight in terms of the timings, and it's going to really be up to the skill of the drivers and how well they're able to focus to see how much we actually see that gap grow or tighten depending on what part of the races we're in.
I think something that is going to be kind of key to watch tonight is we're just almost done with qualifying. Got about a minute and a half to go. the speed differential between these cars, sure, this isn't the Daytona 24-hour where we're going to see GT3s, LMP2s. You're not going to see screaming speeds out of these touring cars, TC4s and GT4s. However, you're going to still pick up quite a bit of speed, probably hit about 160 miles per hour coming into that tri-oval here, just heading into NASCAR 1, really turn 1 into the road course. We're going to hang a left down, transition from the banking onto the flat part of the track. Really tough. Man, look at Mark fight the wheel as that transition happens. And then we head up into kind of the flat portion of the track. You got both horseshoes. We're going to bust a complete 180 here, this hairpin-esque turn, and you got to try to keep those fronts to rotate, but I wonder if at some point in these stints that maybe these tires start to fall off, or these drivers maybe get to cooking these tires a bit more temperature that they can handle. It's kind of hard to say that with how cool the temperatures are tonight, but man, I've raced here one too many times, especially in the Daytona 24-hour. Those temperatures, pressures can get up and get up quick if you start fighting maybe just a little bit too hard.
Yeah, and we can see that, you know, every little second matters, because as you were talking, Jaden Calloway from ITD West actually took the lead in qualifying with a blistering 152.751. And I mean, that kind of lineup there is massive. We thought, you know, Brandon would have a good one, but look at how tight these timings are as we're getting down to the finish of qualifying. A 0.337 gap to now Milan in second in that top class. And I mean, touring cars, that is the tightest class yet, with only 0.02 seconds separating the first and second place cars as they get ready for qualifying. I mean, that is tighter than a lot of races that I've ever seen in my life. And if it's going to be that close for qualifying, just imagine how close the racing is going to be here, Sean.
Man, I cannot wait. This racing, as a matter of fact, just a few moments away from everything kicking off here. Congratulations, Jason, and got that gold paint scheme on his McLaren GT4. Gonna be one to watch. I'd like to invite everybody in Twitch chat and really SSN YouTube chat, man. I'd like to invite you guys out in the chat. We'll shout you out. Let us know you're here, who you're rooting for, or maybe you're a driver here tonight, rooting on your teammate or about to hop behind the wheel yourself. And gosh, look at this placement. If you've never been to Daytona, put it on the bucket list. I mean, look at the infield lit up. Looks, I can't wait for the fireworks to fly tonight. But I think before we get the fireworks, we're going to see some sparks, some elbows out, and looks like we are, again, just a few moments away from getting to the grid.
That we are. Everything's getting prepped and ready to go. And it's, you know, it's the calm before the storm. For we all just, you know, off and away, door to door, close racing. It's going to be that first turn that we're going to see a lot of action, I think, because it's a tight turn as you go through that little area, and then you have to go your rights and your lefts. It's into that horseshoe. We're going to see a lot of action through there in the first couple of laps.
Definitely will. And we'll thank the sponsors a few times tonight, but the sponsors is what makes this possible. Let's start with middle of the pack racing, Sync Mesh, Advanced Sim Racing, of course, Sim Racing Nation, ATC, and Positive Perception. Looks like we are just about to kick off now. That's going to be the session transitioning from qualifying to race. So, man, Nick, strap in. This is going to get a little bit risky into turn one, like you're saying, but this is only our first race with Sports Car Endurance League. Matter of fact, I see a few familiar names I've raced with or just know throughout the iRacing community. This looks like you said, we're going to see some pace between these guys, but also quite a bit of respect. That's what I'm expecting. Lots of familiar names here in the field, but Jason Calloway in the gold GT4 McLaren going to be one to watch as we go through that starting grid now. Nick, you want to walk us down?
Yep. So we got Callaway and Harris taking up that first row, Melling and Law in that second, Danielewski and Bassett in that third row, and then rounding out the top 4 rows, we have Experience and Kelly in this GT4 class. And honestly, like, this is a very fast. I mean, you can see that there has been, about a half a second between the first and 8th car, but considering, all of the time that they put out on the track and it's that close, that's some pretty those are some pretty close numbers for each of these cars. As we can see, a beautiful lineup of the grid as the last few cars are getting ready.
Man, can't count out these other classes of races too, or excuse me, other classes of car. Sure, we have about 20 drivers in that GT4 field, and then starting out in the first Hyundai, it looks like Mike going to take the pole in TCR, followed by Francis Strink, David Bauer, Mark Darnell, then Adrian Pantia, John Lozen, Stephen Bickford, Calvin Lance there. Looks like that last TCR, and then we get into the hang on here. I have so many notes, so many pages.
I believe it would be then the GR86 is the Toyotas, with Raymond and Andrew taking the first 2 spots out of those Toyotas, followed up by Joe, then Blake and James. And then it's going to go to Nick. Excellent name, by the way.
Oh, yeah, there you
go. Can't go past that name without saying that that's an excellent name there. We have Warren, Mark, Glenn, another Mark Prince this time from Razor Racing, Kyle Peterson, AJ, John. Oh, hold on. We got Robert, then John, and then David, as we are now entering the warm-up flap for these cars right now.
Looks like the lights are off, so I mean, shoot, these drivers better get everything warmed up pretty quick, as we are already exiting NASCAR 4 for the start of this race. No NASCAR chicane here from the NASCAR road course. It'd be right out of 4, but we're going to keep it going straight. That pace car is about to dive for safety, and we are about to get 3 hours of racing on. Let's not forget our stars here today. You got Jaden Milan right on the front row, Blend of seasoned pros. Also got those AMs back there, but green flag is out and in the hands of Jason Callaway. We are green at Daytona International Speedway.
And away we go. Now you can see all these cars starting to line up, seeing what drafts they can pick up as they enter into this first 2 wide there in 4 and 5 positions.
Be careful,
almost
boys.
Tapping, but nothing quite happening just yet, as now they're coming through that right-hander, still going 2 wide in some of these areas. No one quite being on that exact racing line as we go through there, but still managing to come through those fine. The hairpin 180, not putting anybody out just yet, but definitely some close cars as we almost go 3 wide, as one of those cars had to back off quickly before having to go through that hairpin. But these are some close moments between these cars to start things off.
A very clean start. I'm impressed. I thought we'd at least see 1 car go around, but Jason's going to get a little bit of a gap going for him already. All second, then very tight battle between P2 and P3 of that overall class. But man, don't look down. Got David Bauer just now coming on to NASCAR turn, well, heading back up into the banking. So they're going to look 2 wide. Try to single file it out now, but that's just going to end up slowing you down, ending up giving Mark Darnell, Calvin Lance, all of these guys are going to get in that slipstream from that 2 wide. You see them single file it out now, going to get that pace right back up in these front-running TCRs.
Yeah, and everybody having good pace right now. They're coming into this chicane here. This is one of the harder ones because you carry so much speed from going around the oval that you have to come in straight, clean, on that brake, not too hard because you don't want to lock up through there. You need to carry a lot of speed through that chicane to really keep up, and if you're not able to, it can really mess up your line through there. It's one of those in-out ins that you have to keep an eye on, and if you're not on top of it, it can really mess up your times as you go through the rest of your lap.
I was close there into turn one.
It was.
Oh my gosh, that could have been way worse than how things turned out. But man, these drivers, I've mentioned it kind of pre-race. I was expecting some aggression, but lots of respect, and we've seen it so far. Only coming to the first lap of the race, still a lot of these guys content, kind of running where they're at. We see in the YouTube chat, got Rob Edge going for John, saying last to first. If that is who I think it is, Rob Edgel, John Ebersol, some of my buddies, these guys out of Austin, Texas, showing out today and running that GR86 car. Great fun car to run.
It really is. It's an excellent car. Great handling.
Ooh, going for the
that
move
you can get
now.
through it. But ooh, inside as we have a spin out that went too fast onto the gas, and that just
looks like
spun them
Glenn.
out. That yellow and the red there. We'll get a replay of that right now. Had a decent line around that, and then just you saw they lost the back end.
Maybe the marbles
And
there or
it
something.
was
It
gone.
just lost complete grip of the car. That's not gonna, well, no damage to him, but with as close as these battles are on track, gonna need just about everything from not only the GR86 if you're running that car, but I mean, shoot, the Hyundai's TC4s or TCRs as well as the front running GT4s. This battle for the lead starting to heat up a little bit. Oh, here we go into turn one, going for the move. Jaden Calloway says, I will take that outside from you. Gonna be 2 by 2 heading down in turn one.
Yeah, looking great. This is the kind of battle for the lead that we want to see. Now coming around here, this is the hairpin where, you know, if you are able to actually make a play, this would be one of those areas if you can't keep your line. You can dive up the inside, and now it's looking good.
That it is, and I mean that's pretty surprising to see. Braden, kind of come up out of nowhere, but slowly been increasing that pace. Down ran a 53 flat last time, getting a little bit of a slipstream down the super long straightaways here at Daytona, almost hitting the safer barrier there, the exit out into the NASCAR oval. But yeah, risk versus reward, kind of what racing boils down to. Got great battles still going on all over the track. Closest one at the moment between TCR. Got Steven John Lausen here, 2 by 2 headed up into NASCAR oval. Have to be careful, boys. This is a long race.
Very long race, but it's a long race. But just like with any endurance race, it's not a sprint, but it can mess you up. We have is that it? Or is that just the camera?
That's the old 360 cam going to work right there.
That is. I was like, wait, I don't see the turn. This does not look good.
Oh, we're gonna be 2 by 2 going into the bus stop with John. Who gives way here? Oh, what a move!
That's a good move from John to back off there. If you don't have that inside line, you need to have some movement to the outside, especially going through the bus stop. If you can't do that, it's really going to mess you up. So having to back off there, not a bad thing to break just a little bit early to make sure you have that room and make sure you have a clean line through that bus stop.
Nah, especially in a 3-hour race, man. It's so long to go. Oh boy, so green flag was finally off after that open qualifying session. Saw Jaden grab that pole. And he's still up at front, but not ran away with it by any means. Still got Braden right there behind, less than a second back. And man, this is just starting to turn into quite a bit of a showdown. Lots and lots of pace between every single driver tonight, still running nose to tail. I know we're only 6 minutes into this thing, but I mean, my gosh, this is quite as well been some of the most fun I've ever had producing and commentating. There's just action all over the track, no matter where we look.
Yeah, I mean, they have, an excellent timing here. Looking at the telemetry right now, you have really 4 distinct groups. Of course, you have these the GT4s just doing an amazing job running out ahead. Daytona is such a short track. It's not extensively long to the point where we're gonna see some stuff, but it looks like something might have happened with the 15 cars. It's stopped on the track right now. At least on the telemetry screen that I'm looking at, the 1.5, but our leaders are about to come up on it. Not slowing down any at all, so getting through that could just be a telemetry error with them. As the leaders are starting to catch up to the back of the Toyotas, and that's where we're going to really see some difference happening potentially, is how can they navigate this traffic and still manage to keep pace? That's the hard thing that they're going to have to come up with.
Well, it's, I mean, basically like real life, you know, you're heading down that interstate and, you may have somewhere to be, or maybe that's just in your right foot, but yeah, you're eventually going to get to that slower traffic, and maybe somebody behind you that's, I don't know, got somewhere to be that's faster than you do, you know, they're trying to get through this pack just as quick as you, and these guys are going to be like sharks smelling blood in the water at when they get to the slower lap traffic, because the speed differential, let alone between the GR86s and these leading GT4s, again, it's not many of what we saw in the Daytona 24-hour real life with again GT3s, LMP2s, even GTPs, but that speed differential is going to play a part in your traffic management, how fast you get through these guys. We see Daniel in the YouTube chat showing out from Penny Pleasers Cup. Appreciate you coming and checking out a little 3-hour endurance race here at Daytona. Things running smooth in the YouTube stream. That makes me feel great because, well, right as I say that, little blink. If those of you that don't know, man, I've been pulling my hair out this last week or two, trying to get everything smooth, and it looks like we don't want to talk too soon, but things are looking good in the YouTube chat. Appreciate everybody coming out YouTube and Sim Racing Network Twitch.
Yeah, and these gaps with the...
Got to move for the lead. It is, man. Hang on. Jason's going to go off track, get shoved off by Braden.
Yeah, just had a bad line entering, and Braden had an inside line that was really nice. He was able to push through, make that happen, and now, yeah, just
what a move!
Dive bomb through that inside line. Braden not expecting it, having to go wide into the grass to recover. Actually gets moved into 3rd position. Jaden does. Braden into 1st, and that means Milan is in 2nd now. The gap is about 0.3 of a second. Approximately-ish, as we're actually looking at it. It's about a second now as they are flying through here. But, I mean, that was a really nice move by Braden. A little bit cleaner, but there was no contact, so well done by Jaden to make sure it's a long race. You don't need to risk it all at the beginning. You have time to make it up. You're going to get into traffic soon. You're going to need to pass this 14 car. There's, you know, that you're going to have to work around. That could gum up some of the works. And then you have the 13 car. They're approaching the 14 now, and that's going to really, you know, now they're coming into the bus stop as they approach it. So that's where you're going to really see a lot of this traffic gum up the works, is going through these chicanes and how that all works.
And check out TCR. We're seeing a little bit of blink out of, looks like Mike with a slight internet issue. But this battle for the lead between these 3 of this class, it hasn't gone away since the start. We're only looking at just a few car lengths between these top 3. We got Calvin, Lance. Ooh, look at this bump drafting. Little NASCAR action for you.
Little NASCAR action coming through. They're looking good.
Oh no, what is going on here? I may have spoke too soon here. Let me try and figure this out here. Sorry guys. What is going on here?
Well, as we look to try to figure that out, we can actually take a look that Milan has taken the lead. I think they did that through the bus stop as they were passing that 14 car. Just too much traffic, and it looks like it may have spun Braden out somewhere, because looking at the timing right now, they are down in 22nd position now. So way down on the timing
Oh,
sheet.
no, Nick, that was just awful timing, man. We were trying to look at the lead of somebody else, and oh my gosh, that's Braden. Okay, here, we're gonna have to
Yeah,
just back
that's
this
how.
up into the bus stop.
So here they come into bus stop. He's trying to take an inside line. That is a really tight line that they're trying to do. He's carrying a lot of speed through, as you can tell. Tries to make that turn, but they just hit each other. Yeah, and that's Braden. Half that's on Braden, I would say, just going way too fast through there. But also on that number 14, Glenn. You have to give racing room, right? And Glenn didn't have that and should have been on the brakes a little bit harder, realizing that they were going to be contact there. But yeah, I mean, that knocks Braden way back now into the 21st position, still ahead of Francois, the first car of that touring car class, but definitely has a lot of work to make up to try and get back, as right now Milan having a pleasurable time up front, trying to keep their lead from Jaden, who's right on their tail.
Yeah, that battle's going to continue as we continue to tick on through the night here. You see us approaching some slower cars. That's just those GR86s. Again, so much fun to drive all of these cars, but I think those 86s, you're looking for a fun time, enjoying iRacing, actually free car in the sim. We see Tom asking where James is running. It looks like running P19. That's in class at the moment, but his car looks clean, and that's what it's going to take coming down to, well, once we start to get about halfway and then start looking at the finishing in this thing. But I think Aero is so dependent here with the super long straightaways, and oh gosh, with everybody fighting so cleanly with one another. See Nick here with, as you mentioned, man, a great name, fighting against James. It's gonna take even more than just some pace to come away with a maybe top 3 run here in class. So much pace and respect for one another. This battle for the lead continuing to heat up as we join a disco party here.
You pull out those rave gloves, get those light ups going, and you can have a really good time.
Oh man, gotta try to work on that one more time. So just close your eyes as I adjust one setting or 2 or 3 or 4. Just adjust the slider there. That'll work. So, we are heading back down into turn 1. I think that straightaway really gives Mylan, Aaron, Steve a shot at just being so close to Jaden, because he really stretches the gap in this infield, but the slipstream and the massive hole that Jaden's McLaren just pokes in the air, these guys able to get right back up to the back bumper of there.
Yeah, Jaden was able to take first back, trying to open up this gap, but like you said, with this straightaway, it's very difficult to be able to open up that gap, and that's why when you look at the bus stop, when you look at these turns as you enter the road course, it's that much more difficult, because that's where the gap really closes in on you, because you have to keep speed through everything. You have to hold your lines, and if you come off even for a little bit and you are inoptimal in how you take some of these turns, it allows that car that's right behind you to pass you, make up time on you in a massive way. So it not only comes down to, don't hit anybody and have a clean race, but it comes down to the technicalities of how you're taking your turns and how much speed you're still able to carry through to make sure that you don't have issues.
Yeah, you kind of see him close up. Ooh, that might have been an off-track heading off the bus stop there for Mylan. I can check in the notes. I don't think I put it in the broadcast or production notes, though. I wonder how many incidents that these guys can get before having a drive-through penalty or something. So you drivers or driver teammates that are watching the stream, let me know in the YouTube chat, is there an incident limit tonight? Because, man, we've had drivers already start to use that to cut the corner exit off of the bus stop, and then you can really open that entry here into turn 1, but no off track for that. No 1X.
No, that's not a place that you would want to really push it to go to run that there.
That's a very good point.
It's crucial that you hold that line, because you take that left and you immediately have an S curve to go through a little bit, and if you don't hit your lines just right through it, you lose a lot of time. So that's one that you run as cleanly as possible. But when you're exiting bus stop, the faster that you can open it up, the better. And so when you go full throttle with anything, you don't want to be on a turn, because that can, if you have like misaligned grip or anything like that, you can really shunt your car into the barrier. As you can see, we're getting some good bumper to bumper action here, and that's why they're cutting that so tight and almost going off track on that. So they can eke out every little second or millisecond that they can at full throttle.
I love going kind of nose to tail through the NASCAR turns in the backstretch and going through that tri-oval, because, I mean, yeah, that's where I come from. My background's in NASCAR, and then, shoot, you look at combining a little bit of road racing, a little bit of NASCAR, always a great time. Matter of fact, we got a little Cup versus Cup action this weekend. My own league, Porsche Cup versus that NASCAR Gen 7 car. Neither car with traction control or ABS. I will be honest, we do have to BOP balance of power that Porsche just a little bit, the 992. But we are at Road America this weekend. Come show out, put your driving talents on display. It looks like there's quite a bit to show. Even I'm going through the incident list here. Looks like we missed, or I missed an incident with Mark earlier. We'll take a look at, but this has been the one incident before the last two that we've seen. So again, very, very clean racing. Looks like, kind of his own fault. Looks a little bit loose getting onto NASCAR Oval. We'll take another look.
It looked like a little bit of an unlucky turn there. They come out. That looks clean. Yeah, you can see they go sideways, and they started to slip, and there's nowhere for them to go. And then they get hit in the back by that black car. I don't know who's in that car right now, but it was just an unlucky. You start to go sideways, you almost have it back, but that other car is just right on your tail. And that's what I'm talking about. Whenever you push those limits, sometimes you go a little bit, you hear that squeal a little too much, you start to slip. And if someone's right on your tail and they're not expecting that, and they start to go down on that throttle, they can easily dump you accidentally, because that was very much an accidental, just racing, not actually looking to dump them purposefully move that ended up with that one car going sideways and off.
All right, so we are now 20 minutes into this thing. I think it's a good time to kind of go through the field, see what has happened since the start of the race. The top two still saying the same between Jaden and Mylan, and oh my gosh, hang on, we're gonna put a pause on going through the field here. If Mylan thinks about making a move here into turn one, does he? No, being content. And Nick, something else? Whoa, hang on to her. Jaden goes a little wide, as now we're gonna get side by side for P2. Something else that you gain from just kind of staying content, if you're in Mylan's or even Steve's spot, you save those tires a little bit, but fuel consumption is a big must. Whoa,
that's a big dive bomb.
That was looks like Aaron or maybe Axis Experience. Is that we're gonna know that?
Take a look at the
Kyle. There we go.
Yeah, that was Kyle Bassett coming in.
Maybe missed his brake marker there and was in way hot.
Oh no, that was a clean dive bomb. That was a move. I will call that a move. I will give them the benefit of the doubt, because you saw they held a good line through it. They didn't hit anybody, and they were able to rotate the car enough. That's a good move right there to punish the little bit, easy braking that the other cars were doing.
Yeah, okay, good move, Kyle. We see him moving up to P4. Steve Kelly right in front of him. He's up 5 spots since the start of the race. Great run for the Mercedes blue and black GT4. We'll start going through the field now. We got Aaron Law running P5. Great run for him out of Canada so far. Why do we start going disco mode about P5 down through at this lead pack? Aaron Trickett, Jason Landry, nice, running P8, gained a spot since the start. Richard, unfortunately, losing 4 spots since the start of the race, but still up there, P9 in class. Oh, matter of fact, he just jumped to P8 in class, so wonder if, let's see if we have a leader coming to the pits. We have Adrian going off track. We'll continue this driver rundown after we take a look at Adrian's off track into the bus stop. Ooh, does he save it? Okay, just a little time penalty. Nothing too.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing too big there.
he just took too much speed through. That's the few seconds. You know, that's the difference between, you know, how much speed you're carrying through. He just took too much speed through, and that means, you know, he's going to go off on that top end. Couldn't slow the car down enough as he was trying to carry too much speed through.
Speaking of carry speed through, whoa! Adam, and is that at the 24? Okay, you see blinking there. That is not on my end that time. That is actually button that these drivers have bound to that wheel, man. Give a little flash. That car in front of you either saying, what the hell was that? Or saying, well, there's a few meanings of a flash. But continuing our run through the field, got Brooks Clayton, now P9, Adam Ballard P10. Looks like Evander in that 24 running P11. Daniel McConnell, nice run for him out of Texas Speed. And in P12, Andrew Tickett, P13. Philip McLean, P14, minus 3 spots since that start. Ethan Rutherford. James running P16. Curtis running P17, and then Austin running P18. Still not through at the this leading GT4 Pro Am. Got Aaron Kushner, P19, that Porsche. Daniel Durazo, looks like P20 in class. P21, Braden Medling, and then P22, that'll be last in class, or excuse me, first in class for TCR. Gonna go a bit more disco mode on us. Francis Shrink leading that, then Mike, unfortunately losing the pole since the start, but he's right there on that front row since the start of things. David Bauer.
No, they're looking good through here.
I'm sorry.
That was a good, clean run through there. Completely, you know, in and out. Like, that was top tier for that line. Pull out your rave gloves, ladies and gentlemen.
You can even see it from, we'll cut to the blimp cam there, and yeah, you kind of see it. I honestly wonder if this is my max cars. I've set iRacing to basically see every single car on track, and I wonder if that's like the processor just like, help me, or what's going on there. But it works. We get about 5-10 minutes of good racing before we got to put on the rave glasses. But man, holy smokes, these GT4 pros, do not mess around with these guys. Jaden, Steve, Mylan, Kyle, put a blanket over the top 4 at the moment.
Yeah, and they are flying through. You can see that number 125 McLaren working their way up. Kyle making some good moves through, and then now coming into that 3rd spot through the bus stop, just gaining as they come through everything, you know, little by little. And sooner, it wouldn't be surprised if they can get first with how they're doing it.
All right, I'm going to tone down the cars here. Oh, they are toned down in replay. What the hell? Okay. Sorry about the little flash on your screen there, but we'll cut back to the action. Mylan Harris, but Steve Kelly making it a 3-wide pass down the start-finish line. That blue and black Mercedes got some speed to it early. Getting up, well, again, now showing up 6 spots since the start of the race. I think we might see Steve, he's got the pace to, matter of fact, pass Jaden Let's take a look at the lap time differential between the two. Oh, Kelly faster. I mean, lap 10, 11, 13, 14. Look at that. We may see a new leader here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting in some big work in that Mercedes right now. Really trying to get on the back of Jaden and then take the first place. As you can see, they're going too wide through that hairpin there. Now, really opening it up as they enter onto the oval. It's gonna be close through here. As you can see, it's Porsche right on their back end as well. The McLaren off in the distance a little bit from Kyle, but Milan's not going to give up second place too easy. As you can see, they're right on the bumper in that Porsche.
I don't think he's going to make that dive bomb to the bus stop, but you know what I bet he was doing, man? Making Milan look in his rearview mirror just a little bit. I think that's kind of showing your headlights there on corner entry. Some of these guys thinking. I know it does me, man. If I see you approaching my mirror, I'm more often than not just, okay, just go on by. I give you the point by quicker than me. But, uh-oh, we got a incident with Aaron back here. And the looks like another Mercedes. No, he's in the Porsche here. This heading down into turn one. That banking transition goes a little bit wide into the marbles. And, ooh, no! Heavy damage to the front of the Porsche.
Yeah, and he just lost traction. He took too wide of a line, caught those marbles in the back tire, and spun him right around. And now he has to try to recover and see what he can do to fix that. Not going to be an easy time there, as Steve Kelly has taken first over Jaden, and it's gone right back over to Jaden. These two racers are going wheel to wheel. As we are getting back on into this area, there's the hairpin right now, back around.
International horseshoe coming at it, and then, yeah, you still can't cut out Milan because as he's right there, he's just watching these guys go at it. You see the windshield wipers, no rain, that is just for gravel that has started to accumulate on these windscreens, making it a little bit more clear to for Milan to see what is about to occur. Because Jaden and Steve, I mean, Steve is probably thinking, hey, Jaden, man, I got places to be. I've shown my nose here quite a few times. I don't want to force the issue 0x, 4x or anything, but if we start screwing around here too long, I mean, Kyle Bassett and Aaron Law, all right there, blanket on the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, they are putting.
This looks like NASCAR.
Down.
This is too wide heading into turn 3.
and they're doing well with this traffic to not have issues, and they're not allowing the traffic to slow them down, and the traffic's doing well to keep everything, around everybody, not blocking, really respecting the faster cars, make sure they're not getting in their way.
Disco Ball is out. That may be a new nickname for Steve, because right when he took the lead, oh, okay, well, still happening, but congratulations, Steve Kelly in the 91 going to take that lead, and then Milan Harris still sitting there at P3. I thought that move I thought it was going to require a little bit of, hey, I'm here. But Jaden now on that side of things, he could be very well saying, hey, I'm here wanting to take the spot back. But mentioned it earlier, you save so much fuel just by not leading this. And when I say save fuel, I mean, we're starting to look at pit stop strategies. There is a mandatory driver switch time, unlike in real life where, hey, the faster that the driver gets out, the faster that the other guy can get in. There's like a mandatory, I forget how many seconds it is, but the fuel, if you don't have to take as much fuel as these guys that you're going against, especially as the race kind of comes down to the last 30-40 minutes on that last stint, that's just another spot to gain even more time on your drivers that you're racing against. And you can never count anybody out in these longer endurance races. And Daniel McConnell up 2 spots since the start of the race. Just you know, keeping good, steady pace. Nice Texas Speed paint scheme, and that's where I'm down here in Texas. So, shout out Daniel Speed, Texas Speed, or Daniel McConnell out of Texas Speed. Nick, I don't think I know where are you from, man?
Oh, I'm out in California.
Oh, okay, right on.
So I got no representation, at least on car liveries, at least. But I'm taking a look at the telemetry right now, and we've had a few racers take some pits already. Adam from Rockefeller Racing Purple took a pit on their 14th lap. Then we had Richard from the Breakfast Club on their 13th lap. And then Braden, who was fighting for first before that spin, took a pit on their 6th lap to fix the damage that they had there, maybe get some new tires after bald spotting them. And they're back out racing now in the 18th position, whereas with Richard and Adam, they're having to fight their way through that TCR class to get back to where they want to be.
You know, this race, it is long enough that we could even see Braden come back. I'm not sure who the teammate is in the 96, but Braden already showing pace. We saw him flashing the lights last time by, as well as a little bit of disco ball into there on my end. But driver in front of him going to miss the apex. Is that for position? Is that the same class? Looks like it is. We don't have pro or am labels on these cars. Going to try and get that for us next time. But I would imagine that, I mean, the top 5 has got to be pros. And matter of fact, let's we have these teams that we can pull up and see who is in pro and am. So take a look at this. We got GT4 Pro class popping up now. Well, where is it? Oh my gosh. Okay. Hang with me 1 second here. Okay, there we go. There we go. GT4. There it is. Got the that driver numbers on the left, and then I know there's no driver names here, but if you see that the car number that you're used to seeing, you can kind of put that team name to it. There's the GT4 Pro. We're gonna switch to GT4 AM here. Got Gear 5 Racing Team Paladin. I'll let you kind of walk your eyes through, see if you know any buddies or know who you're racing against tonight. Nick, you kind of mentioned earlier, lots of kind of good, funny names racing tonight. This is the TCR class. Oh, I think I just heard a spin. Okay, Glenn Bratton around again. We'll take a look after we see the GR86 teams. And pause it on your screen now, because I am eager to see what happened to Glenn here.
Yeah, we'll take a look to see what happened.
Oh, it's again turn 1. That is surprisingly the problem corner, Nick.
It's that gravel. You know, you're coming off that oval, and you're trying to carry speed. And once again, this time they didn't need the gravel. They just gunned it a little too early, went around, put themselves around, and had to stop for a second. It was unsafe re-entry onto the track. But yeah, it's again comes down to speed and trail braking. If you don't trail brake correctly, these cars are very, very liable to spin.
And it really is just that easy. We see these two guys, they haven't given up the fight since, I'd call it the start. Whoa, here we go. Jaden in the pits. Steve able to get 1 extra lap out of just staying a little bit behind these guys. So going to have to see where this cycles out to. Steve out to the lead. Aaron P2, but we got Jaden, Mylan, a lot of these front runners. Kyle, Axis Experience. That can't be a driver name, right? That's got to be like either their team name or something there. But Philip McLean is in as well. Also got not Curtis just yet, but Evander and then James. So these front running guys are going to start their pit stops as. My gosh, I have got to get this sort. 1 second, I'm gonna guess that it's got to do with this car count. 1 second, I'm sorry.
But I think for at least for how they went into the pits, you can see that they were waiting till that last second to dive in. And I think they were playing an undercut maneuver
That's
against
exactly what
Steven
they're doing.
there. And it, it it can pay massive dividends. They didn't spend too long into the pits here, as we're gonna get a look to see how long they spent here. As I want to see, Kyle spent a minute 10 in the pits.
Really?
Um,
Wow.
Axis a minute 12 in the pits. So quick ins and outs here, because they didn't need to spend much time. Just needed to get that fuel and get back out, maybe a change of tires. But as they get back out onto it, now we're gonna have to take a look and see um, what kind of traffic they're gonna have to deal with. Because right now, I'm not saying where they came out that they would have too much issue. Kyle Bassett is currently running 14th after coming out of the pits. David Adeye is in 12th, having pitted, so they were able to actually, it seems like they've all done so Ilya in the number 13 and David have both done driver swaps on their 19th lap, 40
Wow. Okay.
minutes in. Jason Landry and the number 5 car is actually going to be staying out for a 22nd lap, but Aaron, Steven, Ron are all going into the pits right now.
Okay, first of all, how was Jason able to get a whole nother lap? But yeah, you mentioned it here. Got Aaron, Steve, Ron, Andrew, Matt, Pete, Dylan, Ethan, Rutherford, Austin, Daniel in here. Um, yeah, I wonder if he was just kind of that far behind the leaders, or Jason able to conserving just a bit more fuel, able to get a whole nother lap. And believe me, that's going to transfer all the way throughout to the end of the race. But was that a missing back bumper that I saw? No, just the paint.
I don't
Okay.
think, yeah, it's just the paint scheme. As now that everybody's coming back out from the pits, having gone in and now resettling into position, David and Ilya in the number 37 and 86 cars respectively are essentially running first and second. Yes, we have Jason Landry up in first, but they're going to pit, they're going to get passed, and it's going to be David and Ilya that are going to be running first and second, with Steven in the 91 coming into third, with Kyle Bassett running an effective fourth, but currently right now fifth.
Yeah, we're going to continue to see things cycle out. Okay, this is risky. I want to take a look at this battle for the lead going on with GR86, but oh, thank gosh, no disco ball. Woo! Every time I switch to a driver, man, we get the old blink, blink, blinky. But Andrew Sharp, James Logston, even Raymond and Joe Nagy, all top 4 in this GR86 class. Man, mentioned it earlier, we are continuing to see it battles all throughout the track. And kind of, I mean, this is just specific really to endurance racing. It's so fun to see these guys approach slower traffic and how they're able to handle it, especially here at Daytona. This, I mean, iconic, fast, challenging track with that perfect blend of kind of history to go with it too. Believe this place opened in 59, man, so it's a little bit older than you and me combined, I think.
Just a little bit, probably. But that's a crazy long time,
Oh, God.
What is it, like 15, 20 years? 25 years, maybe. It's 75 years old right now or something. It's close to being 75. Long time ago, in a far off distant land, it feels like sometimes, as we are now just letting everything settle back in after these pits. You get a nice view right now of setting screen, but I can walk you through what I'm looking at in terms of the telemetry, as no one in the TCR class has pitted yet. They are all still out and racing, along with that GR86 class. So it's only the top flight, only that GT4 class that has pitted so far. There's been a few driver swaps throughout. So as we go through it, of course, we had the number 37, the number 86, keeping going down, looking for driver swaps. The number 5 has had a driver swap. The number 9 has had a driver swap along with 11. And then the number 108 also swapping out their drivers as well, followed up by the 109 as well. Having some good timings throughout, as we are going to get our first few pits from that TCR class coming in. But those are all the driver swaps that I've seen so far coming in from the GT4 class. We'll keep an eye on that TCR class, see if they're going to be driver swaps or just some fuel and tires before getting back out onto the track.
Mike here, man. Mike, that the Peppa Pig machine.
No, that looks like Dora.
Dora. Okay.
That's Dora on the hood. They have the monkey on the top of the car, and it looks like a swiper on on the driver's door. So fun little little livery there for us to look at.
Maybe some swiper no side swiping kind of going on there. You see the very bright O2. These cars actually have LED timing and scoring panels, so hey, you guys up there in the cardboard cutout stands and YouTube voice chat, you can see what place your favorite running car is running. But hang on, is that okay? That wasn't John. That was looked like maybe a lap down TCR going down the inside. But got some great paint schemes showing out tonight. Mentioned it earlier, and we're just going to continue to get to know these drivers, their paint schemes, and their personalities. Speaking of personalities, I'd like to cut to the one, the only. We only got one driver cam tonight. Looks like Steve. Let's try and find him on the timing and scoring. Looks like Steve coming into the pits now. That's Steve Bickford, not Steve Kelly. Look for Steve here. But yeah, speaking of personality, I appreciate that these guys kind of looking into the video ninja side of things to give us their perspective, whether it's in the sim or like a webcam or your phone cam. Can use all of that stuff. So man, don't be shy. Love to have some more of you guys' faces out showing us you battling the car, as we see another look at that GR86 class Razor Racing, as well as Team FPS. But man, still in the lead after things are starting to cycle out now. Got David in the lead, and then Steve Kelly. I imagine that's going to be where this cycles out, and then Kyle Bassett. But let's see what happened to James here, running P12 at the moment. I'm trying to figure something out here. I'm kind of. I have. Oh my gosh, one too many screens, one too many numbers. I think I'm starting to go crazy a little bit, Nick, but you know who's not going crazy is David. His teammate might be, though, seeing him lead this thing. Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. This was the gold running car in first.
Yes.
There it is, cycling back out to the lead. I don't know why that threw me for a loop, man. I am running on, I guess, zero sleep. I don't know.
But yeah, no, so they did a driver swap along with that number 91 car, or not number 91, the number 86. So Stephen Kelly still running in that second slot there, passing up Ilya. And now they are trying to get back into that first place position over that car that they've been fighting with, the number 37, that gold McLaren.
Excellent paint scheme, by the way, and I mean, seeing that thing up out front, that just even adds to like a gold paint.
Hey, as a McLaren fan myself, it's a great car.
Man, Nick, I might have to send you my old Fanatec, or not Fanatec, my old Logitech setup. Man, I want to see you get behind the wheel of the McLaren here in iRacing. That'd be so fun to watch. Somebody up in the booth.
I would not complain in the slightest. Oh, into the gravel.
Mark Prince going to go around.
Yeah, just caught that gravel, spun them right around. Once again, you have to be careful in that Razor Racing white and black livery. Unfortunate timing for them means that they're going to have to get back out onto this track and make up some positions quickly, as that was an unfortunate time for them.
Take a look at John Ebersol here, up 5 spots since the start of the race. Another really nice paint scheme, kind of teal black. That's something you'd be able to see from the spectator stand or spotter stand as your favorite driver goes around here, Daytona International Speedway. Again, such just a great place to be. If you haven't been out here, I mean, I've only been for the 500, or matter of fact, it was the, we got time here, no reason to rush. There's a few, I think it was 2 seasons now ago, is when the Daytona 500 got rained out, so my schedule allowed it. It was like $50 for an Xfinity ticket, and they allowed you to stay for the 500. So I mean, I thought, shoot,
why not?
Why not? Yeah, the price of the plane ticket will pay for it alone. Went out there with a buddy. He was already down there, picked me up, and man, this place, sure, I've been to Mile and a Half, been to Coda plenty of times, but oh, this place just take your breath away. You ever been to any real life tracks, Nick?
Irwindale Speedway, I've been to a few times.
Oh, that's bigger than Daytona. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's tiny. No, unfortunately, it's actually closing down. If I remember properly, unfortunately, yeah.
The death of short tracks continues.
Yeah, but the nice thing is I'm actually now located close enough to street racing here. I'll go. Ooh, that's some tight bumper to bumper right there. It's the 37 car. But I'm hoping in one of these next few years to hit up the Long Beach Grand Prix with some really nice street racing that they have going on there with the Indy cars.
Oh my gosh, that would be great. Have you seen the stadium trucks or videos of that? I mean, the Indy car, that would be crazy to see. But when they set up those jumps and whatnot around Long Beach, oh my gosh, they see those, like the driver heads like move like 10 freaking feet after they go up in the air, then hit the ground. You boom.
Yeah, it's crazy. But no, it's exciting to finally be able to get to one of those. So I'm excited to see. I've also wanting to get out to the Laguna Seca as well. Yes. One of those, just another amazing tracks.
Man, that elevation drop in the corkscrew.
It's so crazy.
I thought I heard on a broadcast one time, like it's a 10-story drop, which I don't know if that's just. I swear that's what I heard.
It's it's a massive drop. I mean, I've done some light racing on it with a controller in GT7, and you're back and forth through that. You have to be absolutely perfect to not go offline, and I still haven't been able to figure out how I want to take that line half the time. It's crazy how quickly you drop through there.
I think it's all in like the early braking as well as early entry. But hang on, the leader of the overall leader, David. Yeah, got up on that curb. You did that in a GT3, man. That's maybe a different story, but able to keep the car on all fours, going straight is David. We'll hop on board with Steve. It continues to get a bit closer, but man, yeah, you're right over there. Some really nice road course and like you said, yeah, street race in action. Oh,
very late on the brakes here by Steve.
Oh my
really
gosh.
Trying to see what they can make up through it, as David took a much more conservative approach after taking a lot of curb in that first corner.
I don't want to be looked at as like I don't even know what you. Oh man, I dropped my nose. I don't want to be looked at like bias for focusing on the lead of this race, but one, I'm scared as crap when switching off of this battle for disco ball mode, but two, I mean, it's the overall lead for the race, and Steve has shown that he has the pace. He's kept himself in the car, still got to switch over to that teammate, so I don't know if you, Nick, have access to see who that teammate is, but it's...
don't, but
Here,
I'm looking at, yeah, this is the
I can.
Mercedes AMG GT4 really does, because they're going up, it's, that AMG GT4 versus the 570S McLaren, and they're really putting on a show, these two cars. Both of them have great aero for this. Mercedes always builds a beautiful car, and anytime that I can hop into one in any sort of racing game, I usually try to, outside of a McLaren or a Porsche. It's like it goes McLaren, Porsche, Mercedes are like my top three that I love to race in, because they're a heavier car. There's a lot more oomph behind it, but they're just so much fun to race.
Not to mention, you start racing that Porsche scheme, paints, or I mean, you start racing the Porsche, and then maybe work your way up to the GT3. Then, to me, you gotta have the Rexy paint job on there. That green, you see Mercedes going by now, but it's about that green color. It's got
Yeah.
dinosaur teeth
Oh,
on
I
the
love
front.
the
If you don't
Rexy.
know it, oh yes.
I love Rexy. I've been hunting Walmarts down trying to find the Hot Wheels of it. So it
Oh my
is definitely
gosh.
one of those that I do want to get, and would love to have that kind of paint scheme on the car if I was ever to race in it, because it's just so nice.
A spike too, and that purple LMP too.
Oh yes.
Yeah, if you guys that maybe not too avid fans of real endurance racing that are watching along, man, AO Racing just done a tremendous job with I think I forget if it was the driver or the owner, but man, just got some really nice paint
Branding and
schemes.
paint scheme is so good.
Yes. Speaking of branding, real quick, we're gonna take a quick. Let's see. We got a couple commercials to play. We're just gonna take a quick break for you guys. We're gonna be right back here in just a few moments' time. Stick with us. This will only take about a minute or two. Wait, before we do, hang on. Don't switch that dial just yet. John Ebersol. Again, trouble corner, turn one. Oh, he's got the 86 behind him. Is he able to save it? No, gonna loop it around. Oh, not too much damage though. Alrighty, folks, we will be right back. John, in not too much damage. Still running P8 in class at the moment. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We still got Steve, Kelly, David battling it out as they come across the start-finish line. Almost an hour into this race. Only, well, Nick, only about 30 more minutes left of your time before your relief comes up into the booth. Got Justin Yaw going to join us in just about 35 minutes time. Not only will we have a new commentator up in the booth joining us, or joining me, we will have a competition caution. Don't need it for this front leaders, but and there's some of these guys that have incurred just a little bit of damage going to be able to allow these guys to get back up into the race, fix up their damage, get some fuel, get some tires. Honestly, when I was discussing, Nick, the fuel the fuel strategy. I kind of didn't put in play this competition caution, but it still will be in play because you're going to have to pit at least one time the second half of the race. Yeah, this battle going on.
There's several good battles happening throughout this, as we see Stephen Bickford right now vying for the position, and they are going to be able to secure that.
That was tight into turn one, man.
That was very tight, but they were able to secure it into turn one, having a good line through. You go left into right, into left, and then into the horseshoe.
Oh, 3 wide into the horseshoe. Are we going to... Oh, my. Hang on to her, buddies. That's going to be 2 TCRs, and then 1... Is that a... Oh, couldn't see at that time. That looked like a GT4, though. I don't know how, but... Okay, these 2 drivers still battling it out. Quite frankly, our closest battle on track. Got Steven and Tyler. Not Steven Tyler, but Steven and Tyler going at it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the tight battles that we've been monitoring across the track over the last few minutes. And once again, going almost a little wide there on the exit back out onto the oval with Steven, but able to hold it. And now looking back on that 11th position Tyler. Whoa, excuse me. Could not think for a second.
See, okay, this is contagious. This has been...
Yeah, it really is. As now we get Tyler's view of the rear bumper.
Whoa! Oh my God!
Very close in there. Going up the tailpipe of Stephen Bickford as he almost goes a little bit on the back end there, fishtailing a little bit before coming back out and being able to hold it.
Ooh. Hang on to her, boys. Not even halfway. Time. Looks like Justin Bregan going to enter the pits now in that BMW GT4, believe that car is. So, got our leader, James Loxton. Oh, right, with these guys running in that 420, leading GR86, man. Andrew Sharp, and that, I believe that's after a driver change, running P2, and then the 429, Raymond 2, P3 GR86. Another Nick, man. Nick, popular racing name. Nick, Baby Blue in black. Toyota GR86. Oh, are those some gold rims? Hang on now. Gold spoiler? What? Oh, excellent job there, boys, with that paint. That's going to catch the eye of spectators and yours truly up here in the booth. That's an excellent job. Got steady state running on the side of that Toyota GR86. Then Joe Nagy, 477. A little bit more basic paint scheme, but sometimes that's what drivers like. Just there's a little blue on the car. That's all they need.
Yeah, I mean, the number 424 car had a driver swap down in the GR86 class, along with the 482 car as well. So those are the only 2 driver swaps that we've seen out of that. How
about the position swap for the lead, though? And they're going through the kink. Are going to approach another GR86. Steve Kelly. And we mentioned it before. I need to check the YouTube chat here because I always like to... When is competition yellow? Okay, sorry for missing that. Yeah, that's in 30 minutes from now. Hello, Sean Jonah from PPC. Don't want tape delay. So, Jonah, if you are still watching, I know I'm a little late on this response. Tape delays, as far as SDK works, they're a little bit weird on the replays. So, like, if something happens within your race and I try to cut back to it, it goes a little bit weird. So I will definitely, I'll PM you. We'll keep in contact in Discord. And yeah, sorry for my late response times within this past few days, man. I've been pulling out my hair trying to get this stuff sorted out in the broadcast. And it looks like, no, I'm not going to go down that path because we saw it happen last time with the disco lights. But Steve and David, a little bit of Ryan Blaney, a little bit of Joey Logano action. NASCAR heading into the tri-oval, down into turn one. More and more fuel saving for that 37.
Yeah, just doing an excellent job of conserving that fuel, keeping up as we see one of them on that pit exit coming out. All of these cars have been doing an excellent job with, they're not running off. We've seen very few actual like hits from cars. It's been a very clean race from everybody, and it's led to some great wheel-to-wheel action amongst all of these racers.
Speaking of wheel-to-wheel action, got AJ here, also out of Texas. Got Mark Prince right on the back. Excuse me, that's Patrick in front, and then AJ right on the back bumper of Patrick Stein. And then, man, AJ Zepeda here. He's up 2 spots since the start of the race, running 11th in class. Yeah, 11th in class, I do believe. But, man, we had a incident with at least 2 cars. I know you were just mentioning how clean this has been, and man, it has. Not to mention, it really has. But I'm showing a 2-car incident here into turn 1. Gonna take a look side by side. Ooh, a little bit tough with that speed disparity. Oh, in the lime green. It looks like GR86 just lost the better of it. Kyle, you see him holding his brakes there on the right on the line, but he's got nowhere to go, man. He can't reverse. He can't. Kyle, your screen's not frozen here, folks. Kyle is still. Hang on. When does he get going? There he goes. Appreciate you, Kyle, man. That's looking at the relative. That's racecraft right there. Just getting out of the way when you can. That's very, very nice. Nicely done there out of Kyle. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sucks that he was in the middle, but he also didn't put any other drivers' races at risk to, trying to get out of the way. So really well done on that end. And as we get back to live racing here, we're taking a look at Kyle Bassett. They are working their way up, still in that McLaren, trying to get into first. They're currently in third, and they have a really, they're putting in some speed through there. Now coming into the international hairpin, coming around, here's a little bit more of the disco.
No.
It was worth it. It was worth it. You needed to see what happened. And now we come through, they have a good line through all this, but that Mercedes is right on their tail. The number, let me get it from here, the 47 car, in the almost Rexy paint scheme of that almost neon green.
It's totally Rexy reminiscent.
Oh, absolutely. It is Rexy adjacent is what we'll call it.
There you go. Man, I didn't get myself a thesaurus or even dictionary up in here. But, man, Justin Yaw. I didn't realize it's already 9:30. We got about 25 minutes to go till Nick heads on out. But, man, Justin, if you see you're already ready to go for work here at that call time, if you want, man, come up here in the booth. We'll kind of walk you through with what went down and kind of help this transition a bit more smooth from commentators. Matter of fact, my first time having a booth split, but I appreciate Nick. You came in really last minute. Was supposed to have a different commentator up here, but Nick been with me since the start here at Stam Studio Network, and he's gone off done his own thing here lately, but shoot, Nick, you responded to the message in less than a minute, and I'd like to thank you for that. And honestly, Nick, I'd like you to talk about with what you've been doing on your side of things here lately.
Yeah, I do a little bit different. I'm still involved in the esports production world, but I don't do iRacing too much over there. I work mostly in League of Legends, Valorant, Rainbow Six area. And we do, full-on productions for different tournaments and organizations. We run tournaments out there, and it's a whole lot of fun. So if you're involved in any of those games, don't be afraid to hit me up on those, and we can definitely get something going there. We got some 2-wide action going through there, coming up on the bus stop.
2 wide through the bus stop, boys. Oh man, every time that I see something just a little bit hairy, I'm always thinking, okay, hang on to her, but this is SCEL, and if you guys are new here, just now joining the stream, we have seen this all night, and honestly, I've been so focused on the broadcast, Nick. Uh, has this transitioned into daytime?
It has a little bit, yeah. So it started out dark. Now we're starting to get into the daytime scenes a little bit. As Kyle's actually up into second place here in that McLaren, finally passing David, who is in that other McLaren. So we have two McLarens between second and third. Steve is in the Mercedes in first place right now with about a 1 second lead over their second place counterpart. And then Aaron's wrapping it up in third. And if I am looking, they are in they're in fourth, and they're in a Mercedes with Ilya Spiker in fifth, and they're rocking that Porsche Cayman GT4. So, 5 slots, 4 different manufacturers, and it just shows how well balanced all these cars are to be vying so close for first place.
And that's just first overall. We start looking back at, oh man, the gap between first and second in our touring car class, and man, that's showing 14 seconds. So not sure if a pit stop still need to be made there, as we see Adam Ballard just now exiting the pits.
I'm taking a look now. No, they are,
oh, that's on pace.
Francois. Yeah, Francois
nice
that's
work.
On pace. 13 laps on this stint over David Bauer, who's 12 laps on their stint. So really putting in the work to really grow that lead, because you see everybody else is super tight, but Francois is just blazing out in front. It looks like everybody has taken their pit stop so far, as the number 31 car is just out of the race. Everybody else has pitted. We are in racing time. We're not looking for any more shenanigans, but we are coming up here in about 4 laps on our probably second pit stop of the evening, if we're taking a look at the first stint and going off of that. Steven did 20 laps in their first stint, and they're on lap 17 right now in that number 91 Mercedes. So we're coming up on the second pit stops here in just a few short laps.
Nick, if you don't mind, I'm going to run to the restroom really quick, but I'm going to keep you on this battle for the lead.
Yeah.
And it still hasn't gone away, but Steve Kelly up 7 spots since the start. I will be right back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Steve out in front in that blue Mercedes. We have Kyle in that McLaren coming up in second. David, who is driver swapped in that gold McLaren that we were looking at, who had first position earlier. And then we round out the top 4 with another Mercedes coming in with Aaron. Of the top 4, there's only been the 1 driver swap, and that is in the number 37 car. So we are pits here in about 2 to 3 laps, depending on when they want to make that definitive answer be made on when they are pitting. But as for driver swaps, we should expect another one here coming in soon. I would say that probably if they're doing a stint-based driver swapping, they're probably going to do a double, except for maybe that 37 who's going single into a double into another single, have that initial driver also do that last stint potentially and see what they can pull off there. But David's been doing a great job holding it down in third position still as we are coming through and into these last few laps before this pit. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by. The competition yellow, Lauren, in the YouTube chat is going to happen in about 20 minutes. It's going to happen at the 1.5 hour mark, and that'll give everybody some time to get fixed up and everything that they need. So we're probably going to see, I don't think these drivers have enough potentially to make it to that competition yellow before having to pit, but we'll just have to wait and see as that comes out. Taking a look at the telemetry right now, we do have Daniel McConnell dropping into the pits right now, currently in 11th position. They did 20 laps in their first, 18th in their second, as right on time. We get a look at them in the pits here. No one else so far, as I scroll through, are currently in the pits. That is a beautiful yellow, green, and red helmet design with a little fin on top to make sure that they can get their water. Gotta keep drinking water. Hydrate or dihydrate out there, racers, as water matters a lot.
Now, Nick, man, I'm just starting to feel like the Daytona 24-hour like midnight crew at this point. Just anything goes. In the production meetings, we talked about, ourselves racing. I am an avid iRacer myself, but you mentioned kind of what it would be like to race real life, and I agreed with you in the sense that, how do you say it? The G-forces, the forces upon your body are, I would just imagine, crazy. I mentioned to you in that production meeting, I ran 3 back-to-back K1 speed races, which are just fast as hell electric go-karts, and I was out of it for the rest of that night. I was, just motion sick or sick, whatever it may be. Nick, I would just like to, you ever been go-karting or even taking a ride along?
I've done those bumper cars, at the carnival and stuff, but nothing, a little bit like at those like dedicated fun centers, but nothing like K1. I've been wanting to do some K1 because that just looks like a ton of fun. As we take a little bit of a gander back, we do have some pit stops happening as we've been speaking. 4 pits with the number 125, the number 3, the number 24, and the number 22 have all gone into the pits for their second pit stop of the evening. Nothing yet on if they're doing driver swaps, as the number 108 seems to be also getting into the pits. As I don't quite see that on my telemetry just yet, but there they go now. Now they're in. It took it a second for it to update.
Remington, James, Axis, Evander, and then also Felipe in there in the pits.
So the 125 had a driver swap. The 11 had a driver swap as well. Looks like we have any other driver swaps. No other driver swaps besides those 2 so far. So now the 125 is rocking a new driver in 9th position along with the number 11. And we'll have to see how that goes for them as they get back out onto that racing surface.
So, okay, I just need to clarify something, I guess, between myself. P21 is, okay, that is a Hyundai. And then is this, okay, that is, so this is P2 in class. John Lausen here, and then David Bauer. Believe these guys, I don't think that they've pulled a driver change yet. And I mean...
No, they have not. So I have not seen any driver changes. That is the TCR class, and I'm looking right now. Oh, there was one, but that's the 246. The 235 has not had a driver swap. The only one that has is the 246, it looks like, and the 201. 246 and 201 out of the TCR have done their driver swap, but no one else yet.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. Shout out iTelemetry for working this time, because that is great information to have within the broadcast. You said one more time, that's the 235, the 225, and 246?
So it's only the 246 and the 201 have had their driver swap.
Okay, so then everybody else has not yet. And we talk about strategy, or we have been throughout the whole race, but that just adds a whole nother element into it. I mean, that's a whole different driver that's about to hop in the car. Maybe not as mentally warm or even physically as warm as you have been in the car, but now got David and John almost looking 3 wide with the leader of the race.
277.
Oh, I thought that was...
277 actually went wide.
Oh, that scared me for a second. I thought that was Steve Kelly looking 3 wide with a... black and blue Mercedes. But no, this is going to be still these guys going back at it between, or up through the International Horseshoe now. Got one more 180 before we head back onto the NASCAR oval, get up in that banking. But oh man, hang on to your seat, man. If you guys just now joining us, grab a drink, grab some snacks. This thing is going to get good as we continue to tick down towards the end. Nick, I'm going to be sad to see you go, but an hour and a half, I'm hopefully you're needing a bit of a break. But you've been doing great up here in the booth, especially for a last-minute sort of thing.
Oh, I love always hopping into the booth and getting some iRacing in here, as it looks like Aaron is going to be into the pits along with Steve.
Oh, our 4 leaders.
I would expect them to be doing a driver swap. Andrew as well in that number 4. Ethan in the 148 as well, diving into the pits.
Let's see if they pull off a driver swap. You'll see this driver disappear from your screen and then another one come in. Oh, he missed his box. That's going to be about a second or two.
Interestingly enough, Jaden Calloway is back into the 37, so they're doing stint after stint.
Oh my gosh. Jaden.
So
he's
along
in turn
with
1 now.
The Remington Smith was the driver swap. Let's see who else in this. So we had Jaden come in back into the 37.
Leading again now.
But Stephen Kelly is staying in that number 91 Mercedes.
He's only 2 seconds back,
for
man.
First. Yeah, that's huge to keep in there. Aaron sticking in their car. The number 86, I believe that's the McLaren. I think that might be a McLaren. Did a driver swap there, swapping back over to Milan.
Ooh, and Milan's had pace in that Rexy colored.
They have. Oh, that's the Mercedes. Which one's that one?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the
God,
Porsche.
Sorry about that.
They're in the Porsche. I'm sorry. They're in the Porsche. They're in that RR Porsche, black and white. James is still sitting in their car in the number 22. Axis is stuck into their car.
No.
B&O Racing.
James Logston. He was a front runner in that TCR class. Again, every replay we've cut to, man, it's been turn 1. Check this out. Oh, a little bit too much steering input early. Oh!
Ooh. That
Ouchies.
is massive damage on that front driver's side tire. You can see it's fully locked up. As we get another look at that, just too much steering too early. And that means you're hard into that wall, locked up, nothing that they could do there. You're a passenger at this point.
Oh, that 420. He was definitely leading earlier, so that's, wow, that's probably race-ending damage.
Yeah, it could very much be. Unfortunate look there as we get back to live. Unlucky timing.
Look too wide to get into trouble corner turn 1. This is James Cochrane Axis experience, as well as Evander. Let me get this last name right. Jonesy Field. Oh, I don't think I've ever heard that last name. Pretty cool last name you got there. But man, this battle in the lead overall class of the race, GT4, I'd imagine again Pro. It hasn't gone away this whole first hour, 20 minutes. That lead for TCR, it's about 15 seconds now. And then looking at the lead battle between GR86, we're looking about a 4.5 second gap. So gaps starting to show themselves just a bit now as we get almost halfway into this thing. It's actually showing 2:40 minutes instead of 3 hours. So alrighty, still got James Calloway, Steve Kelly, Aaron Law. Nick, I'd like to thank you again as we approach even closer to when your relief will be up in the booth.
Speak of him and he shall arrive.
Holy smokes.
Welcome.
How's it going, man?
Sup, fellas?
I appreciate you coming in for Nick here. As get a little bit of we've been calling this disco ball mode.
Get out your rave gloves.
Yeah. But Justin, thanks for coming in here the second half. We've had really good battles between these 3 classes. Got GT4, TCR and then GR86, our closest battle on track between Mylan and Aaron. Mylan, they've put back in the car. He's had lots of pace, going to try to get that team back up running P3. Highest mover in our lead class, Steve Kelly, had lots of pace. But, all right. How's this transition going to work, you guys?
Well, welcome to the booth. I hope you have a good time. There's some great action up and down. Take a look at that telemetry. I mean, that telemetry from iTelemetry is absolutely amazing to let us know of the driver swaps. And, you know, as we get a little bit more of the disco here, it's not going to be too much disco because it's daytime. So now it's not as fun. But enjoy your time, and I'll be listening in. Thank you, Sean, for having me, and good luck up in the booth.
Hey, thank you again, Nick, and I will be in contact with you after we get all this finished up here for a little bit of monetary, whatever you call it. So, yeah, thank you.
Whatever we want to call it, yeah.
Hoopla. We're going to call it a lot of hoopla.
There we go. That's that. It's a lot of hoopla. There we go.
Nick,
anyways,
you have a great rest of your night, man, and
you too.
I appreciate it. Hopefully we have you up in the booth again soon.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, Justin, man, you're kind of on the other iceberg, or the other end of the iceberg here, jumping into things, not knowing really who's leading what, but Jaden, this gold McLaren GT4, been out in front early in the race, then got the lead stolen away from Steve, but Jaden back out front. Justin, there's been a lot of talking, man. How are you doing?
Dude, I am good. I'm excited to be here. Just want to put the experience out there. I'm about 4 margaritas deep. So this ought to be a fun time the next hour and 20 minutes we got here. And I ain't going to lie, folks at home, this is not my cup of tea. By no means of the imaginary. All right. I don't know what we're doing here. I just know we're turning right and mixing in a little bit of left to go with it. Or excuse me, we're turning left, mixing in a little bit of right to go with it. But I'm excited to be here.
Man, Justin, happy to have you here joining us up in Stam Studio Network. Gonna get these audio levels leveled for you guys. So gonna see just a bit more car blinking, but going to get this sorted so no car blinking is occurring. Man, 4 margaritas deep, they homemade, they from a restaurant, man, where'd you have them? And most importantly, were they good?
Number 1, they're from the Mexican restaurant up near the house. Number 2, got a margarita tower, split it between 3 people. That's
easy money.
88 ounces. 88 ounces, and we cleared all of it between 3 of us. So, I don't know. I ain't good at math, but you do the math at home, folks. Break out your calculators or your toes, whatever you got. Number 3, listen, if there was one in front of me, I'm sitting here seeing it. I'm sitting here sipping on it until we wind this baby down.
Man, I like the way you think. This is, what other way can you spend here at Daytona International Speedway? You know, you said not your cup of tea, getting a little left, getting a little right action here, but, you know, his cup of tea, this also is not. Daniel McConnell out of Texas Speed Racing. Known this guy for, man, quite a few years now, all for the good reasons. Been a part of Texas Speed Discord. Not really raced with him too much, but Daniel, knowing him, he's a great guy. I know he loves his oval, but like you mentioned, Justin, he's out here showing it on the left and the right. Showing P7 in class, 7 spots up since the start of the race. Wouldn't doubt if he's wanting a little margarita in that cockpit right now.
Yeah, I think, you know, listen, if I'm the guys that are swapping in and out, make sure you got a margarita and a cowboy hat on tap for this man. A little bobbing, a little weaving, going left and right here. You know, it looks like they're really stacked up here. The gap between our touring cars seems to be the biggest margin. Toyota GR86s, you know, Andrew and Raymond seem to kind of have the class of the field right here as we got GT4 class. Jaden, Steve, Aaron seem to be kind of all the class of the field, but all it takes, you know, Sean, is one magical little moment of a little yellow thing called a caution. And I know we got one creeping up here shortly.
Whoa.
You know, stack them back up, and then, you know, that you never know with this stuff, dude. You could have one of the GT4 cars decide he wants to run with the touring cars, have a Toyota GR86 decide that a brake check was needed on the front row. You never know, man.
Hold up, man. Mentioning the old competition caution coming out here in just, a couple minutes time, but I thought we were about to get a sense there out of, that's not John, not David, but Mike. No. Okay, who's the green? Okay, he's a lap down. That's what's going on there. Or a lap ahead in the GT4. But, man, competition caution about to come out. I think that's why we're seeing these guys come down pit road. Roger, Nick, Bradley, all gained a spot since the start of the race. That, of course, going to cycle out. Man, this couldn't have been better timed. You hopping up in the booth right as we're going to get this competition caution. Again, just a few moments time. Going to be able to walk through some other pretty interesting, cool things as these guys get slowed down. But that caution not just out yet. Jaden Calloway, Steve Kelly still out in front leading this thing. You see Steve coming through the kink now. Man, Justin, did you watch any of that, the old reel? Oh, there it is. Hang on, we'll come back to that question. Caution is out on the Speedway. Competition caution, 1 hour, 20 minutes into this thing. Almost halfway. This is when things going to get a little bit intense. So, Justin, have you ever done any endurance races or, like I mentioned, kind of watched the last Daytona 24-hour?
I've watched a little bit of the 24-hour.
Okay, right on.
Never done any of this type stuff because, you know, I forget you can turn right. Which honestly and truthfully, I'm a drag racer at heart. I'm not.
So you don't even go left. You're just straight.
I don't know. Listen, growing up, my daddy always said, you know, we had a neighbor, and I've told this story on the last stream I was on. And it kind of goes along with it. But so our neighbor bought a round track car and decided he wants to go. And if you weren't in the last stream that I was in, it was a Talladega race. Go find it, watch it. Great show that the S&M guys put up. And appreciate these guys right here letting us come in and join. So our neighbor decided to buy a little four-banger, little mini stock car. And Dad goes down there and starts tuning on the valves, you know, run the valves, everything. The guy's like, "What are you doing?" And Dad's like, "You don't run the valves?" He's like, "No." He said, "That's where your horsepower is back." He said, look this guy dead in the face and said, "I can get you going fast down the straightaway, but in the corners, it's all you, big boy." So, straightaways, I got you going fast. Corners, you got me beat. That's why I love Talladega and Daytona. A lot of straightaways, not a lot of corners. I can handle that stuff. But you go to a road course, fish out of water, ball and foul weeds, whatever you want to call it. Not my forte. Now, will I do it? You dang skippy. Am I at Sonoma going over the hill at 120 miles an hour? You know, maybe decapitating a fan? It's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And, man, I would love to see you maybe. Well, okay. Now you say you don't like the all lefts and rights. I mentioned it earlier. Got is this the last race? No, second to last race of Porsche Cup versus NASCAR Cup. That's the Gen 7 car against the Porsche 992. Will be a Road America this weekend. A little back-to-back action with Dan Fendy's Pass. Yeah. So segueing into that, I know you say you don't like the old lefts and rights, but Justin, man, I'd love to race, man, wheel by wheel with you sometime, whether it's left, rights, lefts, or I know iRacing doesn't have it, but straightaways, there's no way they're just gonna eventually add drag racing, right? No way.
If they did, listen, I'm on that like a tick on a blood drive, okay? I am down like 4 flat tires. I would be 100% on iRacing every single day you add drag racing. Sean, is the caution out here, buddy? Is we're going to stack them back up?
Yeah, caution's out here. We should be, let me look at my notes here. I do believe that these drivers should be able to take service. Gosh, I have one too many pages printed up. My goodness, let's see here.
I'm about to find this file you sent.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything saying that these drive. Oh, I'm dropping things again. Look at me go. I'm not seeing anything saying the facts that drivers have to stay out or have to pit this yellow. So this is again more strategy call for these drivers. You know, we've been focusing up on this GT4 front of the field. It looks like they're going to come into pit now. Gonna look at the front of the TCR field as well. They're just now coming through the bus stop. Justin, something earlier, I talked to other commentator about Nick. Having this multi-class field, it's just like when you're on the highway and, man, you got somewhere to be, and you got old grandma up there in front of you. The speed disparity between these three classes is, I mean, it's quite frankly just insane.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And, you know, when you're out on the interstate, you got 3 lanes. You got your outside far left one, that is go, go, go. You got your middle, which is, you know, your putters. They might be going fast, they might be going slow, but everybody kind of finds that happy medium. Then you got your far right, which could either be the people in the Altimas that decide at the last minute they need to get off the exit, or number 2, Granny in the PT Cruiser that needed to just kind of stay in that lane. And, you know, hey, that's okay. Stay in that lane, Granny. Just don't go in the far left, and then everybody's kicking right, because then you're stacking them up at Daytona 3 wide for going to the white flag.
Man, you mentioned Daytona 3 wide going for the white flag. A little NASCAR reminiscent there, but holy, Justin, we've seen some 2-3 wide on these NASCAR banks a little bit earlier in the race, and I even mentioned it, if you guys that are just now joining us, and go back in the stream, man. Are we watching NASCAR right now? We're looking at 2-3 wide down some 30-degree banked freaking corners. But, man, Justin, I'd like to just thank you again for coming out tonight, especially 3 margs down. This is just going to make this race even more fun. Oh boy, blinking a little bit, but okay, there it goes. Now it's sorted. Got Felipe McLean, Jaden Calloway going to start P2, and then Steve Kelly P3. Lights still aren't off on that pace car. I'll leave this to you, Justin. You want to go a little commercial break here, or you want to stick with these guys? It looks like they're still single file, so we might go commercial break if that's all right with you.
Sounds good with me, buddy.
Alrighty, everybody, man, go grab another drink. I'm sure you need one now. Go
get you a margarita.
Yes, man, in favor of Justin Yaw himself. And join us back here, Stam Studio Network and Sim Racing Nation Twitch. Actually, unfortunately, I think the Twitch stream is no longer with us. But we will be right back here in just a few minutes' time. Only 3 commercials, so plan that accordingly. Alrighty, welcome back. Sorry for that little skip in the delay there, but man, appreciate all of these guys, all of our advertisers coming out tonight. We got Advanced Sim Racing, AlienAwards.net, ATC, Middle of the Pack Racing, Positive Perception, Sim Racing Network, and Justin, man, I don't know about you, but you guys ever need some sim racing gloves, some sim racing, I don't think they have shoes just yet, but any sim racing equipment, man, you guys go check out Sync Mesh. going to have just what you need. Gonna bring you that pace too. Man, I wouldn't doubt if Steve Kelly's got a little sync mesh, a little glove action, maybe a little LED display, something going on there for him. But you see at bottom of your screen, Justin, we couldn't be where we are today without these advertisers, and most importantly, Sports Car Endurance League for having us out here tonight.
No, we appreciate those fine folks for allowing us to come out here and broadcast their great thing. Appreciate all of you tuning in. Appreciate all the racers racing out here tonight. Looks like a good field. Stacking them back up. Kind of missed the first part of this race, but excited to get in the booth with Sean for this last half. And appreciate all the sponsors for bringing us in tonight and allowing us to be here to announce this. Got a little one off track there. Not sure if they wanted to test to see if their car was a John Deere tractor or what, but got her straightened back out there.
Man, I think it's time we go through, if the disco blinking doesn't get too bad here, I think it's time for a little walk through the field. You want to switch off? I handle first 10, then you the next 10, and we'll just go down the field, call out some names and where these guys are from, and congratulate them from where they're running, I guess. I got Felipe, after this whole competition yellow, running P1. Jaden Calloway, after running P1 for about a fourth of the race, running P2. Steve Kelly right there behind P3. Had a very good pace today. This is a driver switch with us here today. Brooks Clayton going to come in for the driver of the 9. Aaron Law still in the driver of the 47. And then Mylan Harris back in that 86 running P6. Evander Jonesy Field up 8 spots since the start in the 24 running P7. Remington Smith minus 2 spots since the start. Daniel McConnell in his Aston Martin, and then P10 overall, Joseph at 96.
Yeah, then we're going to jump into the 11th spot of Mr. Axe's Experience. Going to go to Felipe LaCroix. I think that's how you say it, Felipe.
That's better than what I got.
If I said it, I apologize. Listen, I announce drag racing on some weekends that I'm not working on race cars, and I tell this the first night I announce. If I say your name wrong, don't sit there and make fun of me. Come tell me. Let me get it right.
Man, I swear you hear that on the PA systems over short track drag racing. Yeah, please tell us, man. Don't want to butcher any names.
So we got Blake for sure in the 13th hole, round us out there in the Mercedes. Then we got Andrew Trickett in the 14th spot. Ethan Rutherford, 15, the Sendit Racing Machine. The V8 Vengeance Hot Rod of Austin Henniger. The MK Motorsports of Curtis Velica.
Again, better than I got, man. Woo!
Rockefeller Racing, the Purple Squad of Adam J. Bullard in the Honda there, or excuse me, in the Porsche. Middle of the pack racing, the Endurance Squad of Justin Bragan, going to be in the 19 hole. Gear 5, Aaron Kushner, and Track Rocket, Daniel DeZuro, going to be in the 21 spot. Going to be looking to make some ground here as we get ready to maybe head back to the green. Got an hour left in this endurance race. Sean, you want to lead us back into our touring car guys?
Not really, but no, I'm just kidding. Of course, man. Couldn't make this race what it is without these touring car guys. David Bauer up here, leading in class. Matt Zepka. Again, lots of familiar names. Know these guys, know how clean they are, know just they know who they're racing against, and they'll race them clean, but you know, still showing that aggression there. Got John Lowson been up the top running spot, that 277 4 spot since the start of the race gained. Mark Darnell, Roger Shank, Stephen Bickford. We've seen Stephen jump on board with him a little bit this race, up 2 spots since the start, running P6 in class. Got Nick Yakubov running P7, Bradley Bowman P8 in class, Adrian running their P9, Connor running P10, and then Anoff running their P11 in class. And I mean, what about our class leader of the one, the only Toyota GR86? This is a free car within iRacing. Justin, you got any experience on this thing, or man, you just, again, like you said earlier, just running a little lefts and also a little straight?
I've dabbled in this, dabbled a little bit in it, tried to see what it's about. I enjoy these, enjoy the GR86s here, along with racing the Mazda classes. Both are really fun car. If you're beginning, looking to get into iRacing, the Mazdas are really fun if you're looking to get into some dirt racing. Obviously, make sure, number one, you got all your sim racing gear from the guys at our sim racing here, our sponsors. Check them out first. If you're looking to get into it, check them out, get your gear. Then when you get into iRacing,
What a plug.
make sure to check out your GR86s, the Mazdas, all good classes to get started off with. Is Mr. Bart been running around here holding down the lead. Nick going to try to see what he can do. He try to hit him with a little razzle dazzle here. Try to see if he can maybe work his way up. Kind of running through our GR86 guys. Blake Phillips holding down the 3 spot. Andrew Sharp in P4. Damon Mitchell going to hold down P5. Joey Nagy in the 6th slot. James Logsden in the 7th spot. John Ebersole, the 8th hole. Nico Colby in the 9th spot. Kyle Purston, 10. Patrick Stein. Patrick, I apologize, buddy. 11. The 12 of AJ Zapadia. The 13, Kevin Nunn. Glenn Bratton going to be in the 14 slot. And David Turn going to be looking to turn it on. But David going to be looking to get after it here in this second half of our race. Now, Sean, we've seen a lot of movement here in the first half of the race. Do you expected a lot here in the second half too?
Man, Justin, I know you weren't with us with the start of the race. Honestly, I expected to see way more carnage than what we did, but that start was freaking clean, man. We could very well see that again here. This start, I'd like to shout out Kevin Nunn real quick. And followed the old Stam Studio Network Instagram page. Shout out to you, Kevin. Appreciate that. But I think things could very well get just a bit more aggressive this green flag start, especially these guys that have been in the car, Justin. They're starting to kind of figure out the pace that they have between these other guys and quite frankly, these newer guys that are in the car now are getting their stints done. They may not know just who has what pace. Sure, I would imagine all of these drivers have their co-driver with them up in the spotter stand, kind of telling them and filling them in on all sorts of information right now. But
now, Sean, let me ask. This is more your forte than mine. Do you want to be aggressive more in the first half of the race? Do you want to be more aggressive in the second half, or do you want to just try to be aggressive the whole time, not be aggressive? What would be your play?
Man, it all to me, everybody races just a bit differently. But when you're going the old left and right, especially a 3-hour race, let alone with a teammate, you got to kind of take a look at the bigger picture to me. Maybe not push things just as early as you would like. I know we're just about to start the second half of the race now. My way to go is even with an oval, 3/4 of the way to go. That's when I'm like, all right, this is enough playing around. It's time to go. And for some of these drivers, that very well is the time to go. But now, just now coming out of this competition yellow, or what we will be, I honestly think that's where the road course mind is set. You don't get competition cautions yellows at all within official road course racing and iRacing. So for these guys with their road course experience to get a yellow flag for a chance to get right back up on the back bumper of somebody who was maybe 4 or 5 seconds in front of them, this is just, the chance that you've been waiting for.
Yeah, I think you keep it again, not my forte, but if it's just me, I think you try to keep it clean that first half, see where your car's at, kind of provide some feedback on to, your other guys, let them know where you think it's at. And, I think this second half, you let it eat, bare knuckle brawl, get after it here, maybe put yourself in a spot you wouldn't have been right there at the beginning of the race and just see where you lie. Coming to the second half here, we're liable to see some more carnage. We're liable to not. You never know. But, I think right here, we're going to see a lot more aggressiveness come out of these drivers. You know, whether you're turning right, turning left, you know, whether you're doing an endurance race, whether you're doing, you know, a full-on cup car here, when it comes down to a white flag, it's everybody for themselves. It don't matter, you know, if you're leading the race, you better hold on. You better play some defense. If you're in second, how much offense do you take here to try not to, number one, give up the position behind you, but number two, how far can you drive it in there? How far can you get aggressive, especially for the lead and maybe for a potential win?
Just gonna have to stick on board with us here, Sim Racing Nation, as well as Stam Studio Network. Oh man, I mentioned this with Nick right before you came in, but if you've ever tuned into those Daytona 24-hour streams, I feel like the kind of midnight shift that comes in from like 1 a.m. to maybe 4 or 5 a.m. and just sometimes you'll get a little singing, sometimes you'll get a little bit more color, or maybe even sometimes just focusing on more battles. But I feel like that's you and I tonight, Justin. I mean, we're here, we joined to commentate for a job to get paid. But I don't know about you, man. I guess you haven't seen too much green flag yet, but I'm having, disco time. I'm having way more of a good time than this feels like work for once, because man, the last week I've been trying to get stream issues sorted out, and other than the old disco ball blinking, this has been a great time tonight, and I can't wait for you to experience this with me. As now looks like the pace car lights are out. We'll get going green next time, or this time by, excuse me.
Yeah, and honestly, Sean, you know, it's Daytona. A lot of other places don't have the prestige that is Daytona. With your racing on the big track, I guess you'd call it, with a cup car, whether you're racing the road course doing endurance, it's just Daytona. It has a different vibe, different feel than just any other place. It's the epicenter of racing. I mean, they call it that for a reason. It's just a different place, man.
Again, if you guys haven't come out here, Daytona International Speedway, whether, I mean, it's for some local racing, Daytona 500, well, actually, I take that back. Daytona 500 tickets sold out. So, however you can get to the Speedway, man, this place 5 states over to the east of me, and I'm still advocating you to get out here. If I'm doing that, might as well try it, man. Circuit of the Americas, NASCAR. We'll be there in about a month, as well as Xfinity Series and trucks. Go check out the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix if you are anywhere near Austin, Texas, in about a month from now. Love to meet you out there. Maybe say hey, say a few, talk about a few things, maybe how much disco balling we've seen tonight. But Justin, I think this disco balling, don't want to speak too soon. It may be a way you can put the sunglasses away. Felipe is going to lead us to the green flag. The green flag is going to be in his hands. Jaden P2, Steve Kelly gonna lead us P3, and man, can't shout out these cardboard cutout fans and you guys in the YouTube chat, man. You guys are what make this possible. Green flag, the second half of this race. Well, folks, it's underway. We got Felipe, Jaden, Steve Kelly, Brooks, Clayton gonna round out that top 4. Here we go. Green flag is out at Daytona International Speedway.
Looks like Felipe, or excuse me, is that Stephen Kelly gonna make a move there?
Yeah, both of them.
Everybody making a move there. Bob and weaving for position here as they take over. So we got some movement back here in the back. Oh, we got one
no! Is that Remington around? Remington Smith. Oh, no. And the 125, man. Cold tires, cooler temperatures going to go around as we continue. Oh, huge wreck as we hit the International Horseshoe.
Oh, goodness. We got cars colliding with other cars. We got people taking out people. And you know what that causes, Sean? That causes fights in the pit. You better have your big crescent wrench out ready to go.
Crescent wrench out ready to go. I mean, did these drivers listen maybe a bit too much? Maybe having one too many margaritas in the old competition caution, some lights flickering. We're going to take a look at that replay as just making sure everybody gets away clean here within the second start of the race. Oh my gosh, that incident caught me off guard. Matt Zepka, take a look now. This track is just too skinny for this many car. Oh, Matt getting on the rumble strips and comes across the track.
Bang.
Bang, bang,
Yeah,
bang,
not a whole
bang.
lot. Man, he took a pop there.
Oh, now we're NASCAR mode. Some 3-wide action for us. Justin, this is
Bump
what you
track,
came to see,
shake and
buddy.
bake, baby. Shake and bake.
Yes! Let's shake and bake down this super speedway of Daytona, heading into the bus stop. Who gives way? It looks like James going to make some ground up in that middle lane.
Yeah, he set her on in there. That's an impressive move, James. That's 2 claps and a Ric Flair for you, bud. Man, they sent it on in there.
Leaders of the race now heading down into turn 1. Jaden Calloway up front, but man, don't take your eyes off this battle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Throughout the whole first hour and a half, this battle has just not gone away.
No, you could throw a blanket over them guys right now. They're bobbing and weaving for position. I think, honestly, that's going to be what the key is we're going to have a little bit of leeway there. And you know, again, it's going to come down to aggressiveness here. We got some time to play here. But you can't let the gap get too far away. Is Jaden going to get out to about a second lead here in the GT4 class?
So I'm seeing Justin, Matt, and Connor in this pit. Sorry to cut you off, but I thought that the pit was open under caution and that these guys were able to take service. And then now we're seeing drivers come down the pits right after the yellow flag ended. Again, sorry to cut you off there, Justin.
No, you're good, man. And I'm wondering, now again, not my forte, can you do a driver swap here, Sean, or is it one of those you've got to just wait until you get towed, get it cleaned up, and then go back out there and just try to manage your way through there?
Great question, Justin. Oh, that's okay. Maybe I'm rapping is my long lost call. Great question, Justin. Yes, these drivers, matter of fact, right when you came in, some of these drivers did switch their drivers out, but some of these other drivers like Jaden, Steve, Milan, these guys are back into the cars. Their teammates maybe possibly knowing that they just have a bit more pace, or again, I'm not sure how SCEL does like driver time. In official series, it's not half, but like each driver needs to have a specific amount of laps ran for their team to count in a team race. So that's not in my production notes. Apologies there, but these guys do have their substitute drivers available to them, and I would just only imagine they have to switch at one point, whether it's they switch then switch back to their faster driver or whoever it may be. But Justin, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna trust you with the live chat. I will be right back. It's about 30 seconds or a minute or so. Hopefully this disco ballin' quits for you. Be right back.
Yeah, so we're gonna tune in here. Checking in our GT4 classes. We got Jaden, we got Steve, we got Brooks, we got Aaron, we got Mylan, all right here together, all bobbing and weaving for position. Got some guys on pit road getting some service done. Aaron, out of Canada here, leading us around here in the Mercedes. So he's trying to figure out what line he wants to take as we get ready to head these guys back off into the bus stop. And folks, number 1, if you ain't subscribed to Sean Stam Studio Network, make sure you do it. Number 2, make sure you check out our sponsors here. A lot of guys throwing some weight this way. Advanced Sim Racing, ATC, AlienAwards.net, Sync Mesh, Sim Racing Network, and all the fine folks bringing you the action here tonight. Man, these guys are putting on a show as we head back through our central area of the racetrack, also known as the Tri-Oval. Appreciate the good sportsmanship there, letting everybody by. We got cars kind of bombing, weaving. Jaden going to swing it out wide. Whoa, Jaden. Jaden going to miss the corner there, and Steve Kelly, Brooks, Jaden, Aaron, all going to try to take position. Jaden going to swing it on into the third spot there. Not sure what happened. Don't know if he got a little bit aggressive on the brakes there, slid the brakes. Don't know if he missed a corner there. A little bit of issues there for Jaden in a 37 hot rod. But for Steve and Brooks, going to work out in their favors. They're going to fight for position. The P1 spot going to open on up.
I'm sorry, I'm just getting back here. I heard you say Matt and Steven, and okay, this is the battle off of pit exit here. But and Justin, I miss a little action there.
Yeah, Jaden, I don't know if he slid the brakes. Don't know what he did there, but man, he missed the corner just a little bit. Went off there a little more over the rumble strips, and that's going to open up the gate for Steve and Brooks to come swinging on through there. As man, these top four right here, you could throw a blanket over these guys. They are tooth and nail fighting for
it's
the
crazy
lead,
because it's been that way since the green flag has dropped earlier, almost damn 2 hours ago, man. This is crazy.
For 2 hours, they've been going at one another, man. You know, and really gonna have to watch here. I don't know how much lap traffic plays into effect here.
So, tons, man. It's like grandma getting in your way.
Oh, as we got Steve.
Oh, hang on.
Jay gonna throw his nose in there for the second spot. Steve gonna kind of give away.
I had 2x2 here in the tri-oval. Oh my gosh, this action is crazy.
Somebody needs to get the Steven bump draft him. Aaron, if you can hear me, get there. He needs some help on the bump draft. He's gonna send it off into the
wide
corner.
in turn 1.
Oh! Steve gonna make it work on the high side. Disco ball a little bit there.
Disco balling it up to Steve Kelly. We got Brooks Clayton out to the lead just for the moment, but that's just right over Steve. Been the battle of the field all day, and once again, man, my apologies for focusing on this lead battle so much, but it's just the closest thing we got on track at the moment. Got Andrew and Joe going at it in the bus stop. What was that, Justin? I'm sorry.
I think they were bump drafting back there off the corner.
It was, man. You saw a little bit of Kyle Larson and maybe Chase Elliott in the blood of those drivers. But the top 3 continuing, blanket thrown over him. Is that a leopard print McLaren? It awfully looks like it. Brandon Clayton out of Germany showing. Going to take the lead down heading out of NASCAR Turn 2, now almost approaching the backstretch.
Yeah, they're going to come down the backstretch. And if you're Brooks, obviously holding on the lead here. If you're Steve and Jaden, you're going to have to try to figure out a line here to figure out how to catch that number 1 hot rodder, Brooks Clayton. He is a man on a mission right now. And hit your marks. You got to be consistent with these. Got to make sure obviously hit your marks. Make sure you don't give up too much space, or you don't want to get wide. Don't want to get, too loose. Get in the grass. Hit a rumble strip the wrong way, and next thing you know, you fall into the field. You got to make sure you're clean, you're green, and just keeping it simple here.
And hey, you got to be shaking, baking down the back. If you get too wide, like you see for the overall lead of the race now, one car will. It's like a brick going through the air, but man, you get 2 bricks going through the air. That's going to create just even more opportunity for Jaden Calloway now. That gold GT4. Man, I'd like to shout out just real quick, Phantom Zero, new subscriber. Just shouting that out. Thanks for subscribing to
Appreciate
Stam Studio Network. Yes, of course, that's what keeps us going. But oh my gosh, I just punched my mic. What also keeps us going are these battles on track. And I mean, look at this blanket. Go ahead and throw it now over the top 4, even 5.
Yeah, these guys are battling hard for one another. We got cars getting mixed up, trying to figure out where they lie.
Gets out there in traffic in the left lane, and maybe you're sitting passenger side like, Granny, you're in the left lane. Come on, go, go, go. But just doesn't have that brick on the old foot.
I got a perfect example for this, Sean. Growing up, my granddad, he worked in the coal mines for years, and I decided to ride with him one day. This man on the interstate running 55 miles an hour, and I was like, Grandpa, we're going to die. He said, nah, I got this. That old man popped a Coca-Cola, and we cruised down the interstate at 55 miles an hour.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need, a little Coca-Cola, a little 3 or 4 margs, and man, some endurance racing at Daytona just gets that much more fun, doesn't it, man?
Oh, yeah. Tune in. We got Got our YouTube chat pulled up here. No sleep till. I see you in the chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate Rhonda. Appreciate
Shout them
Mr.
out.
Tia.
Thank you
You were-
guys so much. This is why we do this. Is I mean, no kidding, is because you guys and obviously the racers, to bring on a show to them and their families and friends. But here behind production and even up in the booth, Justin, I don't know about you, but it just puts a smile on my face getting to hear things like that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
What doesn't put a smile on my face is somebody taking me too wide through the bus stop, though.
That just,
That'll
that
do
just
the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, you know, got to get the blood pumping one way or another. Got to get it going some way or another. Get you fired up to be here. If you're not having fun, then what are you doing here?
What? You guys heard it best. Then what are you doing here? Speaking of what are we doing? Hang on. Brooks? Did
still
Brooks?
battling there.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's take a look at the replay. Brooks got past Steve Kelly. This is coming down into our Trouble Corner turn 1, and you're going to see Brooks Clayton out of Germany, that number 9 car, take the overall lead of the race. Now heading into the more flat portion of the track. That's a power move. Excellent job done by Brooks, and then even Steve for leading for so long, but man, Jaden's right on his ass, heading now into the flat portion of or flat back straightaway into the bus stop.
Yeah, these guys right here, they are battling hard in this GT4 class. As we're going to kind of look to the field here at these touring cars here.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
intervals
can't
there,
count
about
out
a
the
second
touring
and a half.
cars.
Nah, touring cars are about a 2.5 second lead here going to David Bauer as John Lawson. Going to try to run him down. We're going to run through our Toyota GR86 class. That Toyota class seems to be keeping it close. Nick is not letting Blake get out of his sight there. There's a little bit of a gap there between Joe and Nick there.
Oh, here comes Daniel into the pits. This could be a shortcut call. Let's take a look at that pit strategy between our leaders. You see Clayton there coming in at, can you read that, Justin? My window's a little bit too small. 71? Lap 71?
Yeah, it looks like lap 71 came in. I don't know if they're on a different strategy than everybody else. Could play out. You know, you got to, sometimes in these races, you've got to, if you're not in the position you want to be, you really got to be able to throw it around a little bit and see what maybe works best for you. If you got another driver change, right here's the time to do it. Looks like the Matt Best going to take over here.
Yeah, Matt Best coming in for Daniel McConnell and
Texas Speed Hot Rod.
Yeah, you hear him on the gas there a little bit early, trying to get that thing to go, go, go. So that could be a little bit of an undercut. We see on there on the pit strategy, lap 71. Lap 71 coming into pit. We are on lap. We'll come back to that because something's not adding up there. But what is adding up is this battle for the lead. Jaden, Brooks, Steve Kelly. I don't know how these guys are doing it, dude. Sure, there was a competition caution, but 2 hours, 5 minutes into this puppy, these guys are still nose to freaking tail. Hang on to her. It's just all right on board with the lead.
We got. Keep it close, guys. Let's not get greedy yet. We still got some time. Now, hey, like 5 minutes to go, I want to see you aggressive. I want to see you nose to tail. I want to see you fighting for position. We got a little time here. Let's not go chopping grass down this year.
You know, it's so funny that you mentioned that because, that's some NASCAR reminiscent, that high side taken to it there at a turn 2. Like you mentioned, man, like you said, you want to wait until maybe that last 5 minutes. But what I'm starting to slowly learn within road racing compared to NASCAR is, I guess if you got the pace, then that means you just got to go. And sure, you may not want to use the bumper, but man, for somebody like Steve here who's running P3, we've seen him have the pace to get up through the field, not able to make the pass on Brooks, and then Aaron running right behind him. But I've said it one too many times tonight, folks. This battle for the lead overall, it's stayed with us, and it just hasn't left. Matter of fact, running about till P5 in that overall class of pro. Justin, no, it's not your cup of tea. Um, might have to be now because this is just so fun to watch. Look, let's take an on board as now they head back down the back stretch, maybe catch or try to catch a little bit of slipstream.
Yeah, they're going to try to get a little bit of bump trapped here. I just want to see somebody bump trapped, man. I want to see a nose or tail coming through the corner here.
I've seen it once, maybe twice today. Let's see. Okay, gap not close enough there. Let's see Aaron and Felipe. No, still not.
They might get with the spotters up there on the stand. Let's get them talking here. Let's figure out who's going to be your bump trap partner. Let's get a little dancing happening here.
See, that's where we
hang
have
on,
an advantage,
Sean.
Justin.
I hate to cut you off, but where did Jaden get the lead from? Jaden Calloway back to the top of the boards here.
Man, Jaden Calloway making that pass easily on our leader of Brooks. We'll try and take a look at that here. Here we go. Jaden Calloway passing Brooks. Gonna cut to that replay brought to you by the one, the only Stamp Studio Network, and I mean, you call it. In turn one again, too wide.
Yeah, that seems to be the hot spot for wanting to get past a very tricky braking zone.
Almost contact.
Them guys keeping it clean, good racing there between the guys. And I think if you're Brooks there, you're not really pressing the issue there. You know, obviously still got a lot of time left in this race. Is Jay going to get the outside line, try to clear him here? Yeah, he's going to get him clear, and then it's just follow the leader after that point. So I think if you're Brooks here, you know, you're not too upset about that move, but you're just going to try to keep it right there on his tail in case of a mistake. You know, Jaden ran in a little earlier, overshot the corner a little bit, but we're going to get it back clean and green and tune back in with these guys. These guys just right here together. Obviously there's a huge gap right there kind of between Felipe and the Axis experience, or excuse me, between Evander and Felipe, you know, a good 8-second gap there. But man, this top 6 right here in this GT4 class, they have really been getting after it.
How about this battle for TCR lead between David Bauer and John Lausen? Still going at it. Same story there. Well, actually, just between the two leaders. Looks like Roger is about 15.5 seconds back. But, man, Sports Car Endurance League, they're all filled up on drivers. But I would shout them out, see if you could try and get a little something going for yourself now. If you take a look at Jason looking at the back of David Bauer. No, that's not David Bauer, excuse me. David running in the Hyundai, leading that class of TCR. Oh, man. So, Justin, you came in at just the right point for things to start to ramping up. Now, we only have somehow only 30 minutes left in this race. This time has just flown by. You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun. And we are up here, but I'm sure these drivers aren't. This is still the top 6, 7 fighting for the overall lead here in Daytona.
Yeah, these guys are not giving up. They are going to fight nose and tail these last 30 minutes here. And I can't blame them. You know, there's a podium, there's prizes to be given away, and you got to when the aggressive meter gets turned up, that's up to the driver. But I think it's got to be soon because, you know, the laps are going to start winding down, time's running off the clock. You got to figure out when that aggressive meter is going to get turned up and really start trying to figure out when to get after it.
Man, that aggression meter, as well as, I mean, the strategy. We've seen Brooks and James going at it, as well as, yeah, like I've mentioned, that top 6, 7. But who out of this is saving tire, maybe saving just a little bit of strategy? You can kind of see whose car is handling the long run better. I'm referencing kind of Aaron Law. We've seen his car not fire off with as much speed, but definitely have it later on. And man, this program class is just like watching your uncle race against a bunch of high schoolers, man. You got a bunch of drivers who have been here, done that, and other drivers maybe just trying to survive this whole 3-hour event. So we'll get to 1 or 2 more full driver walkdowns of the standings and teams. But at the moment, man, Jaden back out to the lead, and the gold McLaren, another McLaren, Brooks Clayton, German running P2 up 10 spots since the start, and then the one, the only Steve Kelly in that AMG GT4. Heading down in turn 1 now, our trouble corner, gonna think better of it, making that move.
Yeah,
Oh man, this is
Steve with a
fun.
pretty aggressive move there. Brooks going to kind of lay back there. And I don't know, Aaron kind of feeling his way around through here. I don't think he's going to be too aggressive early on, but boy, Jaden, Steve, Brooks, Aaron, Mylan, all these guys just been kind of keeping it together. And David and John right there
Yeah,
in
that
our
battle for
touring
TCR.
car. Yeah, the TCR class and the Toyotas, man. Ever since this caution, they've got grouped back together, and it's made from exciting racing. I don't know if early on in this race, everybody was trying to figure out where the car's at, kind of relaying that info. But man, the battle after the competition caution, man, they have been really, really nose to tail getting after it.
You say nose
Little
to
bump
tail.
trap,
There we go.
bump trap, baby, push him to the front.
Shake and bake, shake and bake.
Let's go.
Going through the
Let's get a
tri-oval
shake
passing our
before you bake.
cardboard cutout fans, and man, you guys in the YouTube chat. Oh shoot!
Mike Honcho himself up there in the lead. David Bauer, John Lyles
too
go
wide.
after. Oh, let's keep it clean, boys. Keep it between the mayo and the mustard.
I'm seeing no sleep till in the YouTube chat. Not sure if you're still with us. How long ago this was? It says W commentator. Whoa! Oh, who was that? Oh no, that was Patrick. Patrick Stein gonna go off track, but hey, Justin, shout out to us, man. We're getting a W commentator in that YouTube chat. Here's the replay of Patrick going around.
Yeah, Patrick here going to send it off in to the little horseshoe turn here.
A little
nothing
deep.
too crazy.
Yeah,
nothing
not
too
racing
crazy.
by
Just
all means.
nah. Just maybe a little chip on the paint. Sponsor may not like it if their logo was there, but you know,
No, man.
they like that sometimes.
I don't know about you, but if I had my logo on a car, which I've had a few NASCAR guys reach out, man. If I don't know about you, Justin, but if I saw that old SSN get scratched up, or even like a Justin Yaw Motorsports JWM, I'd be a little bit. I mean, come on now. That's my logo you're doing damage to.
Yeah, that's hard worked, hard earned logo. I'd like to keep that clean.
Speaking of logos, you see there back up on the bottom. Make sure you subscribe to Sam Studio Network as well as Sim Racing Nation. Man, you don't want to miss a second of this action-packed SCEL Sports Car Endurance Racing, Advanced Sim Racing, AlienAwards.net, ATC also on board, middle of the pack racing, Positive Perception. Can't forget about that, Sim Racing Nation, as well as Synchromesh. Appreciate all the sponsors coming out, and man, Jaden got around Steve Kelly. Steve got around Aaron, and this battle for the lead just going to continue to keep heating up as now we continue to tick down just a bit further into the race. And then, Justin, don't look now, but that battle between TCR looking like, let me make sure I got this right here. No way. Okay, my timing scoring was off. Looks like about 2.5 second gap between first and second for TCR. Got a little scared there when I saw a minute, but looking like, yeah, only, what does that say? 0.4 seconds?
Yeah, these guys are keeping it close. They are not letting each other get out of their sights. One may miss one corner, one may miss another corner, and they're just not letting it get the gaps get too wide. They're just keeping it right here together, and that's what you got to do right here, man. They got what, maybe 25 minutes left in this race. Time's gonna start winding down. You got to keep it close, and it looks like the gap right there in our touring car section kind of got spread out there. John gonna get a little bit of a lead there over David as we kind of circle around the field here. Jaden, Steve, and Aaron, Mylan, and Evander, the top 5 there in the GT4 class, going to keep it right there together, man. They are just nose to tail, hard nose racing there.
Almost 2.5 hours into this race, Justin. Sorry to cut you off there, but this is like when commentators reference in the freaking 24-hour. Like, how are these guys only a few car lengths apart? Still, sure, we had the competition yellow, but I mean, 2 hours, 15 minutes.
A little over less than a second between these guys, and they're all just nose to tail running it clean. and Blake. And, you know, we're going to look back towards some of our other classes, the touring car. Again, gap kind of 2-3 seconds there between them guys. Toyota, the GR86, Blake and Nick.
Here
Kind of
comes
keeping it right
Joe
there
into the
together.
pits from P3.
Joe. Can we see a driver swap here?
Let's hop on board with him, see if we do see that driver swap on. Oh, no, that was a quick stop. Joe just taking fuel. Should be able to get to the end of the race on this stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joe only going to lose 2 spots there. Not bad from what it could have been. The Rockefeller Racing green team.
Oh, our leader's in heavy traffic, looking side by side. Only.
Yeah, no,
I'll let you take it, Justin.
yeah, them guys are bobbing and weaving. Luckily, it looks like everybody's going to kind of clear away there. Oh,
Hang on to her, boys.
Yeah, Mylan, Evander going at it right here. Steve in the mix. It looks like Eric going to get right there involved in it also. And you know a name I'm kind of seeing that has kind of dropped off there, Sean?
Who's that?
What has happened to our Mr. Brooks? Where in the world did he fall to?
Mr. Brooks. Let me go through the old timing and scoring here. Oh, he's way off, man. Where's he even at? What the hell? Oh, and that's got to be a driver change. Do you have who came in for Brooks? I mean, that's my only thought that could be.
Yeah, that possibly a driver swap. I'm not sure where it went on my screen, but yeah.
Okay, we will keep an eye on that. So that right now resorts to Jaden Calloway, Aaron Law, and then Steve Kelly. That top 3. Don't count out Mylan Harris. Mylan Harris's teammate was only in that car for, I mean, it had to be just a couple of freaking laps. So we've seen Mylan, with the pace so far. Gonna pass a grandma down there. Oh, another grandma. Okay, 2 or 3 grandmas out of NASCAR.
Hey, you grandma, get her doctor's appointments early in the morning. Stay off the road in the afternoon because the big boys are out to play.
Yeah, man, that's no disrespect on grandmas, but man, these big boys are out to play, especially coming down to the last 30 minutes of this race. This is when things are going. This is essentially, in my eyes, Justin, the NASCAR white flag. The last 30 minutes of a sports car endurance race. We have some of these drivers just separated by a few car lengths, and then, well, quite frankly, some of these guys separated by about 15-second gap. You see the leader, Blake Phillips, in that Toyota GR86. Justin, you want to do the old, if you want to take the top 10, then I'll take 10, and we just go down the driver list once again, kind of shout these guys out?
Yeah, let's give a shout out. Starting out, let's go backwards. We started up at our GT4 class to start off. We'll start off with our Toyota guys here, as right now the pace being set by Blake Phillips, the Pit Club Racing. Hot Rod, the number 2 hole, going to be finished by NorCal Racing, Nico Colby. 3 slot going to go to Andrew Sharp, the Rapid Theft Esports team. Steady State Speedworks, the Nick Beta. In our 4 hole, Bear Pope 0, James Logden. In the 5 slot, Rockefeller Racing, Joe Nagy. We've seen him just a little bit earlier take that pit stop for a quick little splash and go. Raging Evolution, Damon Mitchell. The 7 spot, Sunday GT, the Turtle Gold. What a name. Roger Ganesh, Caboose Crew, Kyle Peterson. Team FPS, AJ Zapadin. Mad Sim Racing, Patrick Steen. Virginia Ridge Runner Racing, Glenn Bratton. Razor Racing, Kevin Nunn. Panda Spec Motorsports, John Eversole, and Team David Turnkratz. David Turn. Good to round out our Toyota GR86 class. Sean, you want to take over our touring class?
Man, I would love to, man. We got, let's see where the gap starts and stops. We got, is that Mark? P4, so we got to go just a few spots up. It looks like John gonna lead our TCR class. That's baby blue. Really nice yellow Hyundai. Got the old 277 running up out front at the moment. David Bauer. How many seconds back is he? He's looking about to, 7.5 seconds back. But he's got a clean car. Mentioned it earlier. Sometimes aero is what all it can take to have a good run here at Daytona. And Robert Shank, they're in the 250, running P3 in class. I do believe you see alienawards.net on his driver profile picture. Mark Darnell, that P4 at the moment, and that number 83. See the sponsor as he comes this time by, or lack of it. Matt Zepka. Who we got on the side of that thing? We got CYEA. Let's take a
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great name to have. Can't see the smaller text there as he whizzes by through the kink, but I'll see you later. Matt Zepka running P18. Steven up 3 spots. Stephen Bickford running P6 out of Canada in that TCR. And then, hey guys, we got Adrian Pantea. P-A-N-T-E-A. Correct me when I am wrong, not if. Running in that P26, 7th overall. Bradley Bowman running P6th, P27th overall. And then in class in 8th, Anhaf Shahir. And then Nick Yandhoff running P. Is that P10? My screen's a little small here. Oh, who we have in the pits here? Kyle Bassett. There we go. Okay, so that's going to round out the driver TCR. Matter of fact, is GR86? I think they're having pit stops as we speak right now. Looks like Nico Colby into the pits. Okay, there's the leader.
Looking at the telemetry right now, there's a lot of cars on pit road right now. Seeing a lot of the GT.
Oh, yes. Here they come out of the pits, Justin. Good call.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we had a little bit of a driver change there, or if it was just fuel up and go. You know, one of these guys were starting to get a little low on fuel.
This
kind of cycle through.
Only when I try to shout out every driver racing with us tonight. I know it's hard because it's team, but man, right when I started it, we've had a lot of these pro and even AM GT4s coming to the pits now, take what should be definitely their last stop of the race.
Yeah, these guys are going to be fueling up one last time, and you really got to hit it hard this last segment here, and really make sure you keep this car clean, because it could be the matter of finishing P2 or finishing P11. So making sure you hit your marks, keep it clean, keep it green. We're going to go on board here with Jaden Calloway, our leader here in the GT4 class. Going to hit pit road.
You mentioned it, man. Cannot speed here. Cannot miss your box. Is now, P2 is going to follow suit with Jaden.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, is Felipe going to follow suit behind him? And also,
did they take a driver swap?
Did we?
See the black helmet there? Jason staying in the car for the moment. Looks like Jason's going to stay in, as well as, let's see if Aaron stays in the car. We will see as timing approach. Oh, look at the stop between the 37 and the 47. Almost quite identical to one another. Let's see if there's new drivers in these cars. Once they pass the timing and scoring line here, looks to be the same at the moment between Jaden and Aaron. Don't forget about Mylan, who's going to cycle this thing out. You see Mylan there running P3 now at the moment, as these driver stops were just a little quicker than Mylan and Steve Kelly's.
Yeah, it looks like,
I think they still have
a lap difference. Lap difference between these folks as they take their pit stops. Going to kind of stack the field here a little bit. A little bit of gap between everybody, but really going to be cool to watch these guys these last, 15 minutes really here, Sean, is gaps going to be close, gaps going to be tight. Going to really see who's going to get aggressive here and start trying to maybe push their marks a little bit different. You ran this whole race. We're 2.5 hours almost into this race. Who's really going to start kind of being aggressive on their line marks? Can I break it in a little bit further? Can I drive it in a little bit faster off the corner? How fast can I hit the bus stop? Or how fast am I going to hit the tires if I miss the bus stop?
Well, now, Justin, And I invite anybody in the YouTube chat. Are you guys gambling men / women, or are you just going to make sure that you have enough fuel to finish this race and come across the finish line? Because if you're a gambling man or woman, and you're going to maybe take a lap less of fuel in hopes that the leader gets around when that white flag comes out, and you could possibly gain a whole lap, or not a whole lap, but just that time, that less time taken in the pits on less fuel. You can gain about 5, 10, maybe even 15 seconds, depending on how much fuel it is to get around that for that white flag lap, depending on when you stop.
Yeah, that's going to be huge right here. And also watching who cycles through here, maybe takes a little splash here to be safe. You know, a lot of these guys, a lot can happen the next 13 minutes here. As our leaders right here, overall leader's going to keep it in check between one another. Gap's kind of looking over the scoreboards here. Gap's kind of about, 4 seconds in the GRs. TCS about 7 seconds. Our real battle here on the racetrack. Ooh, is Miley going to send in there and make it too wide here?
Oh crap! I'm sorry to cut off that battle. We
got one getting the trash there.
Oh man, Adrian gonna go off. That was a little bit risky. We see Hortu in the YouTube chat showing just how I say Adrian's name. But man, yeah, that battle for. Okay, we're gonna join back another battle here in the International Horseshoe. Gonna head up through the kink now. Again, if this is a NASCAR race, white flag is out. This is only endurance racing though, so just about 12 minutes left to go. This has gone by way too fast to count. I appreciate Justin, everybody joining us here, and now we're going to see this battle for the lead. All right, continue. Got Jason, Aaron, Mylan leading that GT4 Pro class.
This GT4 has kind of been setting the way for the way things have been going tonight. These guys have been really getting after it.
Oh, hang on to her. He's got the slipstream. Does Aaron kind of... Oh, he thinks better of it. He had the TCR there on the outside to make a move. Now Aaron going to look 2 by 2 within that different class car. Going to go to the way left side of the track, even drive over the rubber strips just a little bit as now they head into the first horseshoe turn. And Jaden, Aaron, Mylan, keep it with you guys. This is just going to continue to get closer and closer.
Oh, the Honda there. I don't know who that is. That David Bauer right there with all them guys mixing it up. I can't tell who that is.
That is David. Good call, man. Look at you go. 3-4 marks.
Even the blind squirrel finds a nut eventually.
The 235, man. David Bauer trying to reel in John Lausen for that lead. David for that second place. David running P3 at the moment. But let's take a look at the GR86 lead. Got Andrew Sharp, Blake Phillips, and then Nick Beta. Beta?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Beta.
Beyda, that 433. I wouldn't doubt the name pronunciation chat is going to be off the roof after this, but like you said earlier, Justin, man, if we're saying it wrong, don't hesitate, let us know. But it's gonna be hard to say Jaden Calloway's name wrong as he's continuing to lead this race. I really don't know if Jaden has had a driver change yet, and if even Sports Car Endurance League forces a driver change. That's completely on me. That should be in the production notes Google Doc, but man, it's not, and we'll just continue to see how this shapes out. Now I'm going to go around the outside of a Hyundai into turn 1. Who other than Aaron Law going to follow him in that Rexy colored AMG GT4 has solidified P2 for the moment.
Yeah, he's going to slide on in there. Kind of bounce between screens here. Warren, we see in the chat checking out the 86s. Sean, can we check in on our 86s here?
You know, we of course can. Let's take a look at that 86, trying to find him in our timing and standings at the moment. Oh, man, that didn't take long. Mylan Harris. Got running P3, lots of spots since the start of the race, but only half a tenth down from that Rexy colored AMG GT4 Porsche GT4. Let's hang on board with Mylan here as we head down the back. These cars, Justin, I know you say this isn't your cup of tea, and I know we kind of don't see this in NASCAR too much, but these different brand of cars, whether it's McLaren leading the race, Mercedes or Porsche running P3, each car, Justin, has their strength and weaknesses, and I guess you could kind of point towards real life with each car having strength and weaknesses. Even as far as road car and even the cars that you drive kind of on a daily basis as you go pick up your groceries, they each all have their strengths and disadvantages, whatever it may be. iRacing simulating just about everything that we have available to us. I wonder if Mylan just continuing to save a little bit of fuel, Justin, maybe here, let's hang on. Okay, that was a really quick cut to the onboard cam, but to me, Mylan isn't really saving into turn one, so I think these guys have enough fuel to quite possibly make it to the end of the race here. James still leading as a little bit of disco mode for the fans.
Yeah, make sure you got your suede suits on and your suede shoes on. We're going to go to disco mode here. No, these guys have been really battling it out, trying to go at one another, figure out where their line is, where they need to be. And it's interesting to watch some of these guys really kind of put the pressure on here as we're winding down here in time. Like you said, Sean, it's our white flag basically here in an endurance race compared to, like a regular cup car. Some of these guys are really going to start getting after one another and figure out where kind of their strength is compared to somebody else, kind of figure out where their mark needs to be. As time is winding down, you've got to start getting aggressive.
Yeah, man, we don't have really too many close battles going on with TCER at the moment, but, I mean, GR86, we are going to be 2 by 2 as we come across the start-finish line for second place. We got Andrew Sharp, Blake Phillips going at it. Blake going to dive a bit deeper there into turn one, going to solidify that P2 for the moment. And then, I mean, even P4, P5 going at it in class. James Logston, Joe Nagy, then Nico Colby. Definitely got a driver change there in the Jags. Number 424 running 6th in class. But, man, battle for the lead. Here we go, 2 by 2. Aaron Law
to the lead.
That Rexy color GT4 is now, is Jaden going to look inside? No, think better of it. 180 degrees now heading back into the International Horseshoe, followed by, the kink, followed by the International Horseshoe. Aaron Law, let's take one more look at that replay. See how it happens, maybe. Okay, well, I'm going to think better of it because that could put us in a just really random spot. You saw it there on the backside of your screen, matter of fact. Aaron Law taking the lead away from Jaden Calloway. Mylan Harris? Justin, put yourself in Mylan Harris's shoes, man. You've seen the battle for the lead change once, twice, thrice, force, thrice, vice. When is it going to be your turn and the driver of the 86 to say, hey, I'm tired of this battle. Give me this puppy. I got the pace to lead this thing.
Yeah, I think right here, Mylan's going to probably give it another lap or two because obviously there ain't a whole lot of laps left in this shindig. I think Mylan's supposed to really get aggressive here and see where he can kind of send it off in here, maybe get past Jaden and see where he can pick off Aaron. As they're really starting to get aggressive here.
We will cut
And if
back
I'm
to-
miling, I'm kind
sorry?
of buying my time here. If I'm miling, I'm buying time here. I'm not going to get aggressive just yet.
Well,
But you
you
gotta
know
figure
that
it
you
out.
have slower lap traffic coming ahead, and speaking of slower lap traffic, the battle for GR86 between Andrew and Blake Phillips still. I mean, they're coming out of turns 3 now, heading down into 4, that 180. I mean, gosh, Nick, it looks like he's far back now from that P2 spot of Blake Phillips, but gonna get the slipstream right along down the backstretch. And oh, Aaron Law! Oh my gosh! Aaron Law, Joe Nagy, Mylon Harris.
No.
Take a look at this incident, folks.
Let's look back here.
Uh-oh, Justin, take a look at this, boy. Gets a little deep for that GT4 Mercedes and gonna make some contact.
Moment of silence there for Aaron Law, because I know that headset, that computer, the poor dog is getting cussed out right now.
See, man, this is when I want the old the drivers to join, or this is why I want drivers to join with those webcams. Is, man, if you were Aaron Law, I know it's unfortunate for you, but it just adds more personality, more. I mean, just everything to the broadcast. Get to see you throw your hands up in frustration. It's either yourself or whoever may have fault that that may have been. But man, this whoa. Okay, that scared me. I thought that was the leader of TCR. Looks like Andrew's still in the leader. Connor just down the pits. But, man, Justin, some very close battles up in the, well, still everywhere around the track. Got none other than Felipe and Evander going at it for P5 overall as well as in class.
Yeah, if Jaden right here going to pull away from Milan in the GT4 class to TCR, John's kind of built up a big lead over David Bauer. The GR86 is Andrew Sharp kind of leading the way there with Nick Bida holding down second, Blake Phillips holding down third. So looking like the gaps between the TCR and the 86s are, whoa, somebody going to send it way off in there.
Golly, that's Nick and Blake going at it there into turn 1. Hang on to her, folks.
Yeah, them guys getting aggressive. We got little less than a minute to go. So they're really go. Oh, a little brake check there from Nick Bida on Blake Phillips. Nick really going to start trying to hone it in there.
We are already a minute to go, Justin. Gotta tell you real quick, we will switch over to the SCEL broadcast booth as soon as this thing finishes. Again, only teams that have paid that extra fee to Jason SCEL will be available for driver interviews. So so stick with us here as we're gonna crown our top 3 of each class. Just after we finally approached 2 hours 40 minutes in this race, these drivers, these teams saying, all right, man, this has been damn near 3 hours. Get out of my way. We're looking at Blake here on board with him.
Grandma, get out the way.
Oh, we're gonna go 2 by 2 into the bus. Whoa, there goes a GT4. There's the speed disparity. Looks like Blake gonna solidify that spot there. V2 or P3, excuse me. Or no, that's showing V2.
That's for P. Yeah, that's P2 right there. Coming on the outside there, and Blake Collins.
Dude,
that group.
Jason Calloway, after all of that, after fighting off,
guy.
I mean, Justin, I know you were only in here for the last hour and a half, but seeing Jaden actually come away with that win, I mean, even Mylon Harris P2, Aaron Law P3, congratulations to you drivers. And then, man, not to mention P1 in TCR, John Lausen gonna head home, take that victory in the 277. David Poirier, Roger Shank, P2 and 3, and then don't count out the old the GR86. Andrew Sharp. Andrew Sharp came back, won that
down, buddy.
Yes, sir. Nick Beta, P2, and then and Blake Phillips had a great run. Unfortunately, going to finish P3. James Logston, Joe Nagy being up there, going to finish P5. Justin, I appreciate you joining us up in the booth tonight. We're going to get some ads played. We are going to switch over to the SCEL broadcast booth Discord so we can get some driver interviews for you guys. Hang with us here. Just give us a few minutes, and we will be right back.
It was good. The McLarens definitely had the speed on the straights. I was struggling to keep up, so I was just trying to keep close, stay clean, try not to overuse the fuel, and just kind of drive a smart race. Take my chances when I could. At the end, I miscalculated and nudged my fuel up an extra couple ticks and came out 3 seconds behind the pack and saw them drive off into the distance.
Man, I mentioned that with my co-commentator earlier. Sometimes that's all it can take is just a few extra tenths or gallons of fuel, and that equates to 3-4 seconds on track. But man, coming home with that P4, gained 4 spots since the start. Anybody you'd like to thank or shout out or anything like that, Steve?
It's the whole crew. This is my first time
There you
racing
go.
with everyone here, and really looking forward to the rest of the season. It was very clean racing, and yeah, just looking forward to what we do the rest of the season here.
Yeah, man. Out of all my time, I don't know if Justin's up here in the booth. I think he is, but my co-commentator can let me know what you think. Out of all the leagues that I've produced and commentated for, man, SCEL really showed out tonight with their, aggression. There's been aggression between drivers, but it's been clean. Justin, what did you think between tonight's race and what we got with Steve here? Unfortunately, ending P4 in the 91.
Yeah, I thought it was really clean. A lot of these guys, Steve, did it really play into effect when you got into the lap traffic there?
Yeah, it was definitely something. I've got a lot of experience doing enduros and dealing with traffic. The 86s though, they're just so slow out there.
Grandma.
I got really messed up towards the end just before the pits. I had a little gaggle of like 3 or 4 of them and lost first and dropped down to third and was kind of fighting to get my way back in after that. But the rest of the race, I thought I did really well with traffic.
And that you did, especially to finish up there P4 in class. Congratulations, Steve Kelly, and man, can't wait to see you next SCL race. And gosh, about a month from now, really long time between these races, but get the old drivers, commentators used to the track that they're about to broadcast on. Steve, congratulations, bringing home the 91 in P4.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So we approach the rest of the broadcast booth here. Got oh, well, none other than another Steve Bickford. Steve, you got a copy, man. So we await a copy from Steve coming home. Looks like P1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the TCRs. Justin, thank you again for joining us that last hour and a half. Anything that you'd like to close out? Any closing thoughts for you?
No, I appreciate all the guys here for allowing me and Sean to come in here and announce this race. I'd like to give our sponsors another shout out, the SEL guys, the Sync Mesh, SRN, the Positive Perception, AlienAwards.net, ATC, Advanced Sim Racing, and Middle of the Pack Racing. Appreciate all them folks for allowing me and Sean and Nicholas to come on in here and announce this. We hope y'all had as much fun as we did announcing it, and excited to kind of watch more of these enduro races. That was my first one to really get to watch, and man, that was cool stuff to watch. Can't wait to do it again.
Man, Justin, might have to hire your ass here in the whole SCEL 3-hour-long races. So trying to split up this booth about an hour and a half. You had Nick up in that first hour and a half, Justin last hour and a half, including myself, Sean from Sam Studio Network. Thank you again for joining in Sim Racing Nation. Yeah, Justin did a great job shouting out those sponsors: Middle of the Pack Racing, Sync Mesh, Advanced Sim Racing, AlienAwards.net, ATC, as well as Positive Perception. Join us. What do we have here? Saturday, we will have GT3 racing around the one, the only, elevation changed Road America, followed by Porsche Cup versus NAS Cup. Justin, really can't thank you and Nick enough for joining me up in the booth here tonight. Oh man, gonna get with you on all on payments because man, this time equals money, especially in today's world. Anything else that you'd like to say to the fans, or even for yourself here, Justin, before we get going tonight?
Don't really have a whole lot to say. Appreciate all the folks for tuning in on the YouTube. Appreciate the folks at SCEL bringing us in here to announce it. And remember, Grandma, get out of the fast lane.
Come on, Grandma. No left lane.
Keep it in the right, Mama. Keep it in the right.
This has been a Stam Studio Network production. Grandma's taking note, but we love you. Man, making the best cookies, candy possible. This has been the one, the only Sean Stam, Justin Yaw coming at you up in the booth. Be sure to join us next time. We really appreciate the likes, the comments, everything in between. That's all I got for everybody tonight, Justin. Justin, you got anything else?
No, I do not. Appreciate the fine folks for allowing us to do this.
Alrighty, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all of that. Even comment. Sam Studio Network, Sim Racing Nation on YouTube.com. Oh my gosh. Doesn't even feel like work after that. That was just watching racing and commentating on the battles that I thought were great. Justin, and all my thanks from Nick earlier. Stam Studio Network, Sim Racing Nation. I hope you all have a great rest of your night, and tune in next time.